Welcome back to the Overwatch League here for the Summer Showdown Finals. It is the final match of the entire stage. Junker Queen is our final time seeing her as well. And this is the Shanghai Dragons taking on the Seoul Dynasty. El Clasico, number 25, Tread. 25 times these two teams will be matching up against each other. And listen to me, this is still an exciting matchup, an exciting rivalry. Look, it's been very Shanghai favored in the last two games. But if there's anything left from Seoul after that last match, they got to bring it now.
Yeah, think of the mental recovery. It needs to go on in about 20 minutes worth of break we had. They need to have a full reset. They need to get the game plan in effect. And they've got to take down an opponent that they've had historical difficulty, at least recently, trying to deal with, particularly in this stage. But thankful for everyone else, it's a day of celebration. It's the finals. It's the end of the stage. Regardless, we're going to have a reason to celebrate. But we can also have a little bit of a funeral for jokes. Hopefully that's going to change. And we've heard there's changes coming in. No more Junker Queen defined meta. Moving on to the rest of the year. So I'm sure that'll make a lot of people at home happy as well.
Yeah, it's that, or I'm going to request that we have a hero pool where only Junker Queen's removed. So, one way or the other, look, it's, I'm either sending an email or we're going to nerf her to where she needs to be. But for now, I'm enjoying what we have left. Let's enjoy it together. It is Grand Finals time. It is the two top teams that we have had in the region. Their third time actually playing against each other now over the course of the last week or so. And it took us a while to get here because over the course of the entire qualifier, these two teams have been neck and neck, 5-0, having only dropped a couple of maps each. Seoul had dropped 2 maps to Fusion. Shanghai had dropped 1 map to Fusion. They were still looking pretty neck and neck. We did not get a very clear look at who was a front runner until Seoul and Shanghai played against each other. Since then, Shanghai have beaten Seoul twice, both of them 3-0s, but Seoul do look improved today.
Yeah, it's particularly Stalker as well, and I think I'm going to highlight that matchup first, is that the problem with playing against such a strong Junker Queen-led meta is it's enabling Who Are You to play their best hero, which is, of course, Genji. And Stalker, the leading unit, if you would do the Seoul Dynasty lineup today, where they've seen the most improvement, I think, now has to stare down one of, if not the best Genji in the world. So that's the challenge that faces the Dynasty. Their sharpest tool might be blunted by the opponents immediately.
I'm smiling because all I can think about is an absolute unit, and maybe Stalker's going to have to need to be that today versus the Shanghai Dragons. Like, it's not been pretty for Seoul for a while now. Like, they really need to step up today because for some time they were looking like they were the best team in this particular meta. For the first 4 matches they played in the qualifiers, 12-0, didn't drop a single map. Well, you know what team now has the most insane map record? It is Shanghai Dragons with 24-1. So combination of every single game they play in the qualifier and every single game they play so far in the tournament, they've still only dropped 1 map. That was to the Fusion in the regular season. 24 maps won, a single map loss. If it wasn't for that 1 map loss, they'd be completely flawless.
We'd be looking down the barrel of the golden stage, so to speak, right now. Absolutely no defeats. But of course, like I said, Fusion have to be a little bit of a disturber in that front, take the 1 map. But does mean the maximum possible record, or the most successful record they can walk away from this series, Avril, is 28-1. Because it's a first to 4 map series to close it out, so they will have the additional run, but they could end the stage with a 28-1 map record. I don't think it necessarily is going to go like that today. I think this is the day that Seoul's probably going to take a map off them, if they ever will, in this particular meta. But just think about that. Like, how impressive would that record look running into playoffs and grand finals down the line?
And I think we maybe would have seen that yesterday in Dorado. We all remember the very infamous Dorado clutch coming through from the Shanghai Dragons that secured that map. If it wasn't for that, could have been a different story entirely, because Seoul, they pushed past B without it looking too difficult, given that B was a bit of a wash for the Dragons' defense, so that would have been a map win. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from yesterday's game as well, in terms of, Seoul, Shanghai, etc., because, now we have so much footage and so much tape between these two teams played. In fact, over the history of the Overwatch League, it's really a lot of Seoul versus Shanghai. Again, 25 total matches played. Now, this is number 25. That's how long the rivalry has gone. It is still the longest standing rivalry in the entire Overwatch League between any two teams in terms of matches played. In the Seoul Dynasty, you have to pick up one of these maps in the last 2 matches played, but before that, Tread, I do want to say Seoul won against Seoul won against the Shanghai Dragons twice. So the record so far this year is, let me count it really quick, 4-2. Shanghai got the first 2, Seoul got the next 2, including one in the Kickoff Clash tournament, and then Shanghai got the last 2, the most recent 2 that we've seen now.
Those are taking these highlights. We might actually catch that Dorado we mentioned about, actually, the ridiculous clutch that came in at the end. But no, I think Hollywood, this was, I think you were praising this one, the tracking through the ball shot to try and knock Fitz down at the end here.
Seeing that live
like,
was something else. Seeing him collapse through the ball live was really incredible. So just tracking, like you said, tracking Fitz through the ball itself and knowing the exact location. And that's what gives Lip the edge, right? Lip has been the most impressive Sojin, I think, next to MN3. And with MN3 gone now, Fitz sits, Lip rather sits alone on top of that hill. And even then, I would have really liked to have seen MN3 versus Lip. I'll give MN3 the flashy points, right? He's got all the style points for not making any splash on his way down with the dive. But it's Lip that has the consistent value. Lip has the consistent impact. And this is now the footage of that we just saw, that clutch from the Shanghai Dragons. Absolutely backbreaking. And for the Seoul Dynasty, would have been their Dorado, would have been their map win had it not been such an incredible clutch from the Shanghai Dragons.
Unbelievable. When you see a Doomfist get picked in those clutch moments, you're not expecting the actual progress to be made. You're expecting a stall to come out, buy some more time. But, goes onto the field, removes Prophet off the car, and I believe it was Lip that was getting some clearance from afar just to be able to help them turn that around. It's still ridiculous, because we pretty much called it at that point. Well, there's no way they win. They're just stalling out for time.
I think everyone called it.
Yeah, suddenly turns around at the end, and Shanghai Dragons has come up with this insane clutch to be able to get Dorado. And basically, I think that was the big mental boom for Dynasty. At that point, you're probably looking at that going, we've won this map. Like, what are you going to do?
And now, this is a recovery time for the Seoul Dynasty. I'm expecting more than 4 maps here. We talk about the Shanghai Dragons being such a dominant force. I don't want to count out the Seoul Dynasty. I think Dragons are very heavily favored to win. I think if you had a 4-0 on your pick'ems for this finals, you are likely to get 6 points here. But, Seoul, I want to see the level up. They've had 24 hours to take a look at what they did wrong yesterday. They've lost the Dragons twice now. There's so many lessons learned. And some of the hope that you see is the fact that they got a much cleaner victory versus the Philly Fusion, which to this stage had been kind of plaguing them. That was a bit of a monkey on their shoulder in terms of not being able to get a clean win ever. Always going to map 5. So Seoul, to me, look improved. The question will be, do they look improved enough to do anything against Dragons?
I think one of the things I loved most about Seoul Dynasty yesterday was actually going to be the aggression and the tempo plays that were coming out, particularly on map 2 and 3. What we saw from the last series there, where we had Circuit Royale and Colosseo. We had Vindame just playing very aggressively with these sound barriers. I don't know if they're going to be able to get away with the same aggression when it comes against the Shanghai Dragons, but I did like that was some of the confidence and improvements from the Dynasty coming ahead in that matchup. It really helped them put Fusion back in their place effectively.
Well, without further ado here, Trent, let's go ahead and take the opening rosters, the starting lineups here for both teams, starting with the Shanghai Dragons. Should be no surprises here. Who are you leading the way next to Lip? And I expect the rest to be all the same as well, with Void, Lee J gone, and of course Izuyaki on the brig, who actually has been pretty phenomenal on the brig as well. There's a clip yesterday on Dorado, some more excellent plays on Dorado, where I think live during the cast we were both surprised, like, how did Stalker just get deleted? How did Stalker die? Yeah, it was a Lip body shot on the rail, followed up within 1 second, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, I think within even half a second, Izuyaki lands a whip shot at the same time, basically, and Stalker's 100-0. So Shanghai Dragons, their coordination, they've downloaded all their opponents. The Shang AI has been booted up, and everybody is on the level that they need to be. Every single person on this roster now looks like maybe the best player on that particular role for this meta in this region.
And that's going to be a question for me today, Avril, is you mentioned the Shang AI. How long does it take for them to get the patch? The patch from yesterday, the download of the Seoul Dynasty today. Are they going to have a soft start like they did in map number 1, or are they just going to come out the gate swinging, take control of the series, and close it out fast? Because it seems as though once Shanghai have that read, it's why they're the Shang AI, they don't really lose control of the series. I'm just wondering how much damage can Seoul Dynasty inflict on them before that happens, and can they do what they failed to do this stage, wrestle back control once the series goes the favor of Dragons?
Well, let's take a look at the Seoul Dynasty opening lineup here. It is exactly the same as what we expected. Stalker just walks away with a MVP, a player of the match from our lower bracket final, and now he'll be looking towards doing the same damage if he can versus the likes of who are you. We've already kind of teed up the matchups here, right? Fitz has been kind of playing second place, second fiddle to Lip almost his entire career. I mean, this stretches back for multiple years now. Last year, especially 2021, Lip had, I think, the greatest year that Lip has ever played. Fitz he was kind of behind that. Now it seems like Fitz is behind Lip again. He is forever chasing the tail of Lip, but will he ever catch up? They did actually beat the Shanghai Dragons at kickoff clash to win that tournament, but now we're in the Summer Showdown. It seems like Shanghai Dragons are ahead once again. Stalker versus Who Are You, the other very important matchup here. Stalker might very well be the best Genji if Who Are You didn't exist.
That's the bane, I'm sure, of his existence. He's just missing out on the accolade because of Who Are You. Really annoyed. We can't see the player cams. We don't know if we got the clip bonus. I'm going to assume the clips are in. He's in sport mode today, and he's going to need it as well for this final, I feel.
Still,
Vindane's got the clip, so I have to assume Who Are You's got him in.
The blue hair's there.
Also good.
So
blue
you know.
hair. The Super Saiyan Blue mode Void is available for us to use as well.
He's going
all
further
the
beyond.
Are here for the Dragons.
He's going further beyond. He's draining so much power that all the cameras are going off. Don't worry about it. I'm sure we'll get them back soon. Now, I want to bring up something really quickly as we're about to head into map set. By the way, let me go over the previous 6 maps that have been played between these two teams in Week 18. We started out with Lijiang Tower, Shanghai 2-1 to win that. 2-1 then on Midtown as map number 2. Followed by third and final map here, Gibraltar. That was the contentious one. That's the one that everyone remembers from that final Week 18 match, 6-5. That one went the full distance and then some. When we got to the time bank, a second full cap. Shanghai finished Gibraltar twice within a single sitting. And then we had our actual tournament match, upper bracket final here between Shanghai and Seoul once again. Opening map Oasis 2-1 in favor of the Shanghai Dragons. Then Hollywood map number 2, 3-2. Saw some brilliant highlights there, including the rail shot collide through the ball from Smurf onto then Fitz. And then we have the Dorado map up, which we talked extensively about now. 3-2 was the scoreline there for Dragons. So what we can gather out of this is they've capped every single map. They've really not really failed. They didn't have to finish Midtown, so maybe that's a bit of a caveat, but didn't require that. It's a 2-1 victory. You take those. One other thing to take away is all of these opening controls have at least been a single round drop by the Dragons. So it's not clean. It's not 2 zeros. And if I'm not mistaken as well, yesterday specifically when we looked at that Oasis, the first round actually went the way of the Seoul Dynasty. So it might take a little bit of time to warm up. I did catch the Void post-match interview on Billy, and he did say that they needed to warm up first, and that's why they lost the opening round.
Well, you can probably hear the music in the background. It was Seoul Dynasty's choice, as by virtue of being the #1 seed in the tournament and making it to the grand finals through the winners bracket, not going down into the lower. They get to choose our starting location. It Shanghai, is Oasis. Right? Shanghai, yes. They will be able to pick the Oasis to kick things off. And of course, reminder, this is a first to 4 series, so do not expect any free map sweeps coming in here. There is always the extra lifeline of going to a push, even if the Dragons 3-0 the initial 3 maps.
Well, here we go once again. It's Oasis, like you said. It's the same map that we had in yesterday's upper bracket final. We're going to run it back. We'll see if they run back the rest of the map pool here as well. Here are my expectations. Also, if Seoul do lose this map, I'm expecting that they should be taking us to a map like Paraíso next. We had Hollywood chosen by Seoul yesterday. I'm not sure that would be the correct choice once again. They played very well in Paraíso versus Fusion. I would like to see them repeat that. Without further ado, Tread gates are open. The finals are ready. Map number 1. On Oasis Gardens.
They'll be running themselves out onto the point as expected. High ground being secured by both the Brigitas. Forward units there. Smurf and Void facing each other down. Stalker and Who Are You starting that clash already. Over the edge. Shouts are out. Disruptor shot splits the fight. And Seoul Dynasty are retreating already. Who Are You gets themselves into the back line. And Seoul are completely off the point. They've just respected them so much because Smurf's gone down. They've lost their front line.
Good punish.
Stalker will get the better of Who Are You, but I feel like the map capture still is going to go the way of Shanghai Dragons. I think they've done enough. Smurfs might not get that back in time, and now Lip's taking that profit as well. Constantly playing at a 4v5. Shanghai advantage.
Yeah, Stalker tried his best there, but for Seoul Dynasty, if you don't have your tank alive yet, you do need to rely on other players like the DPSs, maybe a Brigadier from Profit as well to go for the next touch, to be that pseudo-tank for the team. Void being alive makes such a big difference for the Shanghai Dragons. It took a while for Dragons to get the cap. Was a 1-for-1 trade there, but when the dust settles, Dragons get the 20% lead now, and they have a slight lead in terms of the ultimates here as well. A little bit on the supports between Lee Jae-gon and Vindame, and definitely between Lip and Fitz.
Managed to find their way to the corner, up the stairs to the high ground now. Play around the terrain. Stalker claims space. Who Are You low? Void even lower.
Shout's gone.
Shanghai have to give up this point here. Stalker still chasing him, gets behind him, cuts off the route to the Mega, and Fitz is the one to clear it off with the railgun. Stalker's looking for one more, finds Lee Jae-gon and goes back to the point. Not relinquished control just yet, but Dynasty have the advantage. They should be able to get the flip.
Prophet now getting the kills as well. Stalker capitalizes on the fact that he chases down Void, has a cloak of invisibility. It seems like Dragons were not able to do anything against Stalker. Gets into the backline, dashes through, and it's actually Fitz that collects the kills. The alley-oop there, Stalker sets up the dunk, and Fitz will get the 2 points. And now, for the Seoul Dynasty, they get the cap backwards. 52% in the lead for Shanghai Dragons. The Seoul trying to catch up. No ultimate spent. So what little that Shanghai Dragons had in terms of an ult charge lead is now matched by the Seoul Dynasty.
Fitz seems to be the focus. There's a rally from Prophet early on into the fight, using it on tempo. There's the overclock from Lip. Pushed off to the side. Smurf still exposed to these shots. Can't find a connection. Blade pulled by Stalker. He's going to get into the fight as the beats have been thrown out to answer. Prophet, the only victim so far, is the Yaki. The unkillable at this point. Gets himself back to safety. Who are you takes them now. And Shanghai Dragons weather the storm of ultimates thrown at them on tempo. And we'll get the flip back at 52 to get themselves even more progress.
Yeah, that's just the difference of the support ultimates really making it hard for Stalker. I mean, both support ultimates on both sides got expended there. Who are you didn't even have to pull Blade. That's really big. I think Prophet dies early there due to Shanghai Dragons, the focus fire coming on through. I mean, despite the sound barrier from Vindame, Stalker failing to kill Easyaki. That was the one kill that Seoul Dynasty wanted, and it's the one that got away from them as well. Shanghai Dragons leading by 72. Could be Final Fight territory coming online. Blade and Rampage, and no support ultimates whatsoever.
Fitz has the railgun with the overclock. Rampage from Void cuts through to find 3. Fitz under pressure. Has to close down these sightlines. Who are you? Blade is big. Both supports down. Make it Stalker as well. 4K. And he's not going to get the 5th. They want the fast reset for one last chance, but it's too little too late, I believe, Avril.
Yep, spawn camp time now. Who are you with the 4K? Fitz will go into the drink. And the round is likely over. We talk about the fact that maybe Shanghai take a while to warm up. The Brigida Flail from Easyaki just to send Vindame away. No touch for you, sir. 100 to 48. And the Shanghai Dragons take the first round. Not fully comfortably. A little bit of contention there with the 48 from Seoul Dynasty, but otherwise Shanghai look fantastic at the end there. The Blade to take it home. Who are you is still the champ.
I think they managed to find time to warm up before the series this time, Avril. That looked like a pretty warmed up Shanghai Dragons. Not dropping that first round, we move over to City Center as our next destination. Don't expect any compositional changes on this one. You're just seeing the Fitz Symmetra, obviously, for the early TP to try and get some advantage. Lip will match, but then they will go back to the Sojourns, I imagine, to play out this round.
Seems like the tacos were preheated. That's right, I'm bringing that one back from Coliseum. Shanghai Dragons, here's what we prepared earlier. As we head over to City Center now again. Previous matches on not just Oasis, but on control maps in general, dictate that Seoul typically do take one round somewhere. Shanghai Dragons, they want to get the 2-0 this time around. They have
Prophet
full jump pad control, and with that, they walk forward. Prophet down.
That was that coordination from the Shanghai Dragons again. As Who Are You and Lip applying so much pressure to Prophet, just takes them out of the fight immediately. Gives them the first capture, gives them the advantage and the ult charge to play with when you see Seoul Dynasty come back to try and do a retake.
This might be the last time we're seeing Prophet play Brig as well in an Overwatch League series for the year. I doubt there'll be another real meta where Prophet is required to play the support, so he'll make this one last. Got active on the kill feed in our previous series and the previous round as well. We need a lot more of that. Stalker does lead on the Blade. That's the one area of success for Seoul so far over the course of 2 rounds. Stalker has had that over Huayu. Easyaki low, so Stalker.
Izayaki keeps getting away with murder, quite literally here, because he was able to get away from the dash through from Stalker. I think he was like sub 10 HP, 20, something low like that. Still stays up, keeps the fight competitive for Dragons. Who Are You in the face of Prophet? Gives Crate some space, goes back to the point. Prophet's out of this fight right now. It's effectively a 5v4. Armor pack's been thrown back in, so he can get back into the fight.
80.
Getting closer to that Blade. Also got Vindame on the beat. A tempo could be big here. Lee J gone, but his Prophet goes down first. 5v4 advantage. Smurf takes out Who Are You. Stalker with the headshot onto Lip. Beat committed by Lee J gone. Vindame as well. They're throwing ultimates into this one. Seoul have to pull this one out, and they've got a man advantage to do it, but it's still messy and not clean. Izayaki, the unkillable, finally gets dropped. And Void should surely follow. 63%. Expensive fight for Seoul Dynasty, but they will get the flip.
And they didn't use the Blade either, so that was very important for the Seoul Dynasty, because if the fight extends even longer, the Dragons have the respawners coming on in. I think they will force that Blade. Look at the percentage point, 65 now on board for Dragons. They lead by quite a considerable margin. The Seoul Dynasty desperate to win that fight. Thankfully, they will be able to get the important members down at Lip and Who Are You. That, by the way, was Lip's first death of the entire map so far, including Garters. Lip hasn't died yet, except for that one death that we just saw. Who Are You now about to get the blade there as well. 3 versus 4, I believe. Legion on pop speed. That's slightly better for Seoul now, because, well, actually it's not, because they also use speed. So I guess both teams using sound barriers. Now the Dragon Blades should be free to burn.
Going to be looking towards these rallies. Some kind of mitigation. Play from Who Are You, proper pops the rally. Immediate shutdown on Izayaki. That's 2 for Fitz. He's been playing in the shadow of Lip. He's about to cast one of his own. If he can just secure that final kill, he's done enough already, but that's the cherry on top. Dominant fight from Fitz, and the Seoul Dynasty retain control.
It's exactly the type of performance you need to see out of Fitz to get the better on Lip, and also Who Are You in the series today. 4K, 3 from the rails on the overclock. Seoul Dynasty catching up, less than 10% away now from equalizing on percentage points for the cap itself. Stalker Blade still available. Izayaki with the only router, the only support ultimate on board for the Shanghai Dragons. How long does he hold this one for? Is it going to be a pre-rally? And if so, he'll need to burn it about now.
Up on high, good platform to set up this blade from. Who Are You doesn't have the power to match. We're looking towards Lip's overclock. He's got it online.
Oh,
Profits removed! Stalker attempting to shut him down. Space clear, but Stalker is in pursuit. There's a line of bodies in front of him, and it gives Lip the breathing room he needs to shut him down. Rally from Izayaki as well, doing work. This is the shutdown for Shanghai Dragons. 90% they should be able to get the flip. And they have Rampages to trade on the next offensive.
And that's the problem for the Seoul Dynasty. You have the Stalker Blade, it should be successful. You go on top of Lip, he's the target, he's got the overclock. You're gonna get this Lip player down, get the Sojin away from the Shanghai Dragons. But Lip just elite Stalker, who, by the way, tries to take some pot shots on the Widowmaker. Maybe you get a pick, maybe you don't. 94% for the Seoul Dynasty. The win is so close on this round, but it's still yet so far away. Double Rampages online for both teams. Sound barriers yet to come online. Vindame, 9% away. Super important. 3-man catch by Void.
Goes first. Smurf wants to try and heal up. They still turn around. How do you get 3 members? But the turn still comes in for the Dynasty. They have the advantage in this fight. They've not even had to use their ultimates yet. They're going to get control in overtime. And Avril sprinting back from the point will be the Shanghai Dragons. They have to go with a beat and a Rampage. They're going to take the fight to them, though. They don't want them anywhere near this point.
No, they don't have a tank either. Void's trying to come back in the dirt, but I don't know if he can. Legion on dead as well. 3 players alive. Void barely there. The Shanghai Dragons do not look like they'll take this run unless you can find the Blade. He's being healed up. He's still alive.
No, he manages to find 1 kill, get away. Void, we need to see the impact we had on Dorado with you, my friend. Anti-heal onto Who Are You, he's the only target, goes down. Dies at 3% to the Blaze. That would have been the difference maker in this fight. Maybe the tool they needed to turn it around. It's still going to be tough for the Shanghai Dragons. But they're keeping up and they keep losing bodies and not getting picks. There's no answer for them. Overclock online for now. Void, you can't defend against that one. Seoul, take us to a 3rd round.
And that's the thing. Seoul will get their blood. They will get their tax money here. They do get 1 round on control, as expected, as we've seen in the past as well. It does happen. The Shanghai Dragons, they got so damn close to maybe closing this one out 2-0. And we saw what happened as well, right? The Void Rampage catching 3. Seoul Dynasty were not to lose in that scenario. And here's the other thing as well. When we talk about which round Shanghai actually lost versus Seoul Dynasty in the meeting they had yesterday in the upper bracket final for Oasis, it was still City Center. Seoul now have taken City Center again, back-to-back, but can they get University? Because this is when things fell apart for Seoul yesterday.
Here's the rollout again. Converting over the mini right now. All these early engagements just massively off the point. Environmental risk here. Vindame and Lee Gon playing up on the high ground. Void, very low as well. I think he's gone down with Void. Eventually, the rest of the team will get back to the point. Look at a forward unit. Lee Gon and Who Are You trying to shut down Fitz. We will manage to get back to the team, create cohesive units.
They want none of that neutral. They were trying to fight for the high ground on towards the mini-pack. They originally had the better positioning, but take a bit of extra damage. Izayaki has to fall off to the low ground onto the point itself, and Dragons take a bit of a breather. Mega being taken by Stalker down below, and still no cap to come through, still no frag to come through.
Yeah, this is the most extended neutral fight we've seen from both of the rounds so far. Yeah, I don't know if Shanghai had to do that, but they're playing it safe. They're playing it passively. They're waiting for their moment to strike. Who Are You's low. Needs to get some healing. Can't drop him, otherwise you pretty much call this one off.
You might see an ultimate here. We might be able to get a single fight here when an ultimate comes online before a pick does come on through. And we don't have a timer, so I don't know if this is going to
again.
be the Washington Justice versus Shock 2-minute stall. But it's already 20%, and Shanghai need to be the ones to push on forward. They have a health advantage. Fit's very low. Is this going to be the kill? Yes, we do see an ultimate before kills come through.
Yeah, Lee Jae-gon's beat, securing it, I think, for the Shanghai Dragons there. Fast accumulation, it sets up Who Are You and Izayaki to just run riot in their front line, take them all out. And tempo beats coming into play there. Elongated fight with 0 picks, and this is what happens, Avril. The ultimates decide it.
Another blade coming online next. Shanghai Dragons don't allow the Seoul Dynasty to get too far away, 29%, just shy of 30. But the rally is online here as well. We respect the tempo beat coming on through. The good news is Seoul, despite losing that one, they'll remove the beat. They will have a free fight in front of them, given that they did have the lead. Here comes the lead now going the way of Shanghai. Double rallies, waiting for DPS ultimate. Blade now out.
Who Are You's going to pop it a second later. Stalker takes down Izayaki at the end, tries to get a reset and turns the attention round. Proper move. Who Are You comes in for cleanup on the end of it. Fits with the overclock, just catches Who Are You as well. No decisive clapback. And Dynasty got the point in the chaos.
Lip holding there as well. Didn't quite have it in time. We saw Lip at 99% for the longest time while Fitz was going for the overclock. Now it's Lip's turning and playing the teammates. Good shot at the Smurf. Smurf then it got deleted there. Vindame saves him with the beat.
Yeah, has to come in there, reinstigate the fight, gets back onto point. Shanghai did get the flip in that time. He's in control. Lee Jae-gon needs to get out of there. So close to going down. Void and Izayaki get cut by Stalker. He's hunting right now. He tastes blood in the water. And Lip has to put the beast down. Flip goes in for Dynasty. This is so back and forth in comparison to what we usually see.
Lip surviving a 1 in there as well. They could have been a staggered death. That would have been time cost for the Shanghai Dragons, but we are about to hit 56 and 56. Both teams trading their places at the top of the podium as far as getting the lead here in this race for our third and final round. They decided to take home map number 1. Very important for momentum.
Just
one-man Rampage. Gets his man.
It's enough. It's a shutdown, 2-for-1 trade off the back of it. Still keeping the fight competitive despite that, but ultimately Dynasty have control. When you look at the map percentage, we're getting into the 80s now. Shanghai can't play loosey-goosey with that fight. Come back as a cohesive unit, rally behind the Void Rampage. You got Lee Jae-gon's beat. Should be able to win this fight out on economy alone.
This is where you expect that Prophet will be able to get the rally, which is very much required to at least slow down, prevent the Void Rampage from getting value. We've already seen on City Center, Void Rampage, even hitting 3 might not be enough.
He's
Prophet
gone.
dead on 99!
No rally to come in. Void can just hold on to his ultimate now, I think.
He will.
Doesn't have to use it. He gets the flip. It allows them to defend with the economy instead. That's brilliant from the Dragons.
Wow, I don't know if that was just an incredible read from the Dragons. Maybe it was. They must have known that Prophet held on to rally. It's still available, so they're trying to pressure him down, and well, they get the kill instead, and that's even better than the pressure because Seoul Dynasty, they just have to advocate the point. 4-man.
He fights 4! Prophet's rally comes in just as you'd expect. Lee Jae-gon's beat is there as well. Who Are You get stalkered? Prophet's going to find another as well. This is Dynasty cleaning up. 24-1's about to become 24-2, Avril.
99%, the OT kicks in. Dragons, it's just Lip in there so far. Who else can touch? The answer is no. Izayaki's rally is going to have to get saved for our second map, and Seoul Dynasty have broken the streak. In 6 previous maps, they have not been able to take one over the Dragons. Number 7 is their lucky number.
Was not expecting that start to our series, but back and forth, particularly on University. You said this was the map they needed to do differently from the previous matchups, and they're able to secure it, come out with the win, draw first blood in our first to 4 series. And if Fusion didn't take the map earlier on in the season, they would have just denied the golden stage for the Shanghai Dragons. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, it is Shanghai's pick as we head over to a hybrid. In all likelihood, Avril, we've been denied the 4 Overwatch today, which booms my pred a little bit, but it's good to see if you're a Dynasty fan. They won Oasis, took that away from Shanghai Dragons. We now move on to a hybrid pick, which will be Shanghai's choice. We'll update you with that in a moment, but it looks like the Seoul Dynasty are still keeping that momentum and the power they showed in the series against the Fusion, and they're going to need more of it. We're in for the long haul, I feel, here.
Yeah, what's this? Seoul Dynasty up 1-0 versus Dragons. Stop the count. We can finish the series now. Says every Seoul fan, I'm pretty sure. As look, this is definitely not what we were expecting. Or maybe we did. I think that was bound. We were due for a Seoul Dynasty map win at some stage. And look, 4-0s aside, maybe if we could get a 4-0, it would have to be Seoul getting a clean sweep versus Dragons. And that would be, I mean, a shoe-eating moment where I just can't see it happening, but crazier things can and will happen. Let's see how things go now in future maps. I'd said a little bit earlier, a map choice that I would like to see the Seoul Dynasty pick up will be Paraíso. They just had a great Paraíso versus the Philadelphia Fusion. However, they're going to change it up for us a little bit here. We're going to go to, they being the Shanghai Dragons, not going to allow the Seoul Dynasty to go there. Dragons are going to choose Midtown, so denying any sort of Hollywood, Paraíso, any sort of positioning where Fitz might get a good look at the Ash. They want to take that off the table entirely, don't want to deal with any sort of shenanigans at all. Midtown was previously played by these two maps in our regular season Week 18 game. It was 2-1 for the Shanghai Dragons, so Shanghai Dragons prevented Seoul Dynasty from even capping B. They themselves capped out B.
It will be Seoul Dynasty to go on the offense first, and I think everyone at home is hoping that our graphics operator doesn't have to switch from the 5-map graphic to the 7-map graphic. I mean, if you're a Dragons fan or a Seoul fan, you're probably hoping that you just turn the table right now and make this a 5-map series. But I think a lot of us also want to see it go the distance if they keep being as competitive as they were on Oasis. Dynasty, except they're on the offense, Shanghai will set up first. No surprises on the compositional pick here.
So let's see how far Seoul get. As a reminder, Seoul did not get past B last time. That's got to be the target. Otherwise, they're going to have to get a very monstrous hold versus the Shanghai Dragons, which they are playing against the Shanghai Dragons. However, that being said, Stalker on that last map on Oasis was lights out, so damn good. Carrying on, as you mentioned, the momentum from earlier. A couple of hot shots from Seoul Dynasty, including a sleep duck from Vindame, just to see if anybody is peeking a little bit too far. A single pick here from Seoul Dynasty could set the stage. Can they rotate past this alleyway into the fire station? That's the next question, because Shanghai Dragons, they're great at intercepting these pushes.
Playing around terrain beautifully right now. They didn't get overwhelmed inside that building. Here's the start of the rotation into the firehouse.
I think one person got through.
At the moment. Yep, 4-1 split.
Yeah,
it's just Stalker, now
managed to get through.
Follow up. Railgun shot will miss. Stalker going low. Dashes in for a health pack.
Saw Legion got a 1, by the way. He nearly got railed by Fitz.
Yep. Here's the fight. Flash in the center. Trapped in the bus stop. Void needs to move. That's not where you want to be, but it's Stalker and Fitz. Going back to the spawn move first. Smurf now under fire. It's easy pick up for Izayaki and the boys. That's Seoul going back. First deflection. Successful for the Shanghai Dragons. 1 minute burned.
Prophet the only person that survives there, so not a 5-man cleanup, but the Shanghai Dragons will take it all nonetheless. Talk about Stalker getting better blade timings and ult charge than Who Are You on our previous map. Not the case now. Who Are You leads 69-36, and now 70 on board for Who Are You as the Shanghai Dragons really get a hit and ult charge. The only person that is going to have a pretty reasonable lead is Vindame over Lee Jae-gon, so you do need to see that if Who Are You gets this blade. If it's dead, should be a reset or a cleanup.
Hey. I mean, you could touch the point, Seoul. I don't know if you can keep it at this point. There's lots of staggered members here. This could be lethal. If they can get control of the situation, they can definitely go for some kind of stagger. They're going to clear them all out.
Yep.
I think the stagger on Fitz was enough.
Yeah, Shanghai, they've gone from look but do not touch to touch but can't take home at this stage. There's still no ticks to come on through for the Seoul Dynasty. And now the blade is online, so look at the rest of the ultimates here as well. Lip will be next. Fitz is very much trailing. It's still Dragons territory for all of the resources. Less than 2 minutes left.
Seoul Dynasty just going on the underpass all the time, not trolling to try and take the train away at all. Will emerge into the open arena. Double damage ultimates online. Rally and Beat about to be there. Vindame has the sound barrier to answer any aggression that comes in from the Seoul Dynasty.
Ooh, Lee Jae-gon.
He's low. Rally from Izayaki. That's the first one popped. Vindame's going to answer back with the beat. No damage ultimates available. Quick little pause there.
All right, well, let's survey what we have on board here. It is a tempo beat from Vindame. Lee Jae-gon is still holding for now. He's respecting the fact that Stalker could have Blade. Lip and Huayu still have ultimates available. The way this fight should really go through now is we have Shanghai Dragons. They might even pull back and allow one tick to come through from Seoul. That would probably be the safest play for them to make. Otherwise, they're going to be forced to pop a beat really early. Huayu's going to wait out this sound barrier from Vindame 100%, then pull Blade, and there won't be any further support ultimates or anything to stop Huayu once that happens. Profit's only at 88% now. He's probably going to even be the primary target for Huayu. I think that would be wise for him to go for. And then once Stalker responds with his own Blade, Lee Jae-gon's going to use the sound barrier, assuming he didn't counter tempo beat. And if he is to counter tempo beat, he's going to do it as soon as we come back from the break. So the two options for Dragons are is to disengage, give a tick, come back with the Blade, or play your own tempo beat, play the Blade anyway.
I'm trying to work out from the model whether Lee Jae-gon is trying to beat right now, or looks like it. Like, I'm looking at the pose he's in on the screen, and honestly, that could be him. It's hard to say. He could be leaping off a surface, or he could actually be the start of the beat animation.
Based on the positioning of Shanghai, so just to paint a picture for everybody while we wait in this pause, it's Seoul Dynasty with about 4 players on point. Shanghai Dragons have now swapped positioning. They now look like the attacking team. They're on the opposite side of the fire truck, and they have the sort of subway train cart control, the slight high ground there as well. So Shanghai Dragons kind of disengaging from Vindame's beat is very easy, because Seoul Dynasty don't actually want to chase. They want to stay on point and cap. So for them to chase Dragons, they can't cap, and they're very much going to value the point here. So I think if you are Dragons, this is the right opportunity to just give away a tick. The tick's about to come through now anyway, and then just play for the Blade win condition, because even if you give up the tick here, you probably can win this fight with an ult advantage, bring the timer down just below 1 minute, and that one tick shouldn't make a difference if you get a full hold anyway.
So here's the problem. You're talking about positioning. 4 players on the point. The one player that's not on the point is Stalker. Where they are is right in the face of Lip off screen. Lip is going to be under so much pressure when we come back from this pause.
We're back in.
Lip, like I said, he dropped down incredibly low. Got his support from the rest of the team. Probably got some rally assistance. Stalker is going to go down, though. They were able to punish that aggression.
Who are you going to hold?
Separation from the rest of the team. They don't have to use ultimates here, Avril.
Yep, they probably will just hold ultimates, or it depends, because Seoul Dynasty are in a pretty defensible position. They have 5 station, 2 ticks under control here as well. Depending on when Shanghai Dragons decide to go for this cleanup, time is going to get really low here. Stalker's respawning now as well. Rally coming on in. Shanghai now need to make decisions. Is this time for the Blade?
They're going to put it out. Shanghai using the Blade and beat at the same time against Profit's Rally. Vindame doesn't got the option there. It's just a cut through, a decimation of the Dynasty. And they still have the overclock and the rampage for what should be the final offensive of the Seoul Dynasty.
Yep. It could be enough. Stalker's Blade will be pretty dangerous here. You do notice that Lee Jae-gon went for a tempo beat anyway. They had Stalker down, so I don't think any real threat of counter damage once Huayu goes in, but he wanted to keep Huayu alive. He wanted to make sure no one of Shanghai Dragons was going to go down, and that was successful. It does cost you an extra sound barrier. The chance for Seoul Dynasty to still cap, I would have to say, is high. 3 ultimates to 2. But even if Seoul cap, they spend all 4 minutes on A, so can they finish the map after that? Unlikely.
Lip's got the overclock. He can make this fight a 5v4. Smurf has to take cover in the building. Can't hide behind his allies.
Watch Void.
Railgun charge. You heard it. Want Smurf. Stalker still on point. They touch. Oh, shut down. No Blade for Stalker. Smurf goes in with the rampage. They've already lost 2 members. The anti-healer's not enough. No one's on point. And that's a full hold for the Shanghai Dragons. No way capture coming through.
My goodness, Lip just put Seoul Dynasty right up against the wall. Stalker down first. That was the most important kill. Yet Stalker gone. No more Blade. He's been the linchpin for Seoul Dynasty this entire day, from this lower bracket final versus Fusion to the Oasis that Seoul just won against the Shanghai Dragons. Stalker, no opportunity to pull Blade. Smurf low HP as well. Can't go for the rampage. Doesn't want to die mid-cast. And that's it. Lip shuts it down. Void rampages. Seoul Dynasty, no response. They get 2 ticks, 81.1%. And this is what I'm saying for the Shanghai Dragons as well. Acceptable losses, well within margins of what they can accept to lose. And you'll still win the map. You'll still get the full hold. You'll still get the goal accomplished going 1-1, even if you give away 81.1.
This truly is surmountable for the Shanghai Dragons on their offense. Might just reset the series here, and it's like playing a first to 3 all over again.
By the way, this is now officially worse territory for the Seoul Dynasty than where they were before, because previously, I'll remind the audience that Seoul at least capped A and got into B. They failed to cap B versus Shanghai Dragons 2 matches ago now in Midtown. This time they won't even get A, so not even a single point, sadly. Shanghai Dragons look to bounce back with a vengeance. This is Shanghai's map pick, to be sure.
Here's the rollout. They can control the green room. Vindame's going to have to vacate. Not hard committing into that area as much as Seoul Dynasty did. They're still playing a little bit underpass for the time being. They still want to get control of Firehouse. Like you said, it's a really defensible position. It's a target they should get if they can't get onto the point naturally. They might be able to do it without them. Look at how they're stationed.
Past. It looks like they're going to skip the fire station, just go straight past the fire truck itself, and puts a lot of damage there.
They get Who Are You out the sky. Nice railgun combination with the flail whip. Answer back on the Stalker, so still a 4v4. Void will go down as well. I think that's going to decide it. Fitz may drop. They're always trading 1 for 1, but they're not equal trades, I would say. Vindame able to just finish off, and that's going to be a full retreat from the Dragons.
And not enough frags and not in the right order for Dragons to actually take advantage of any sort of respawn differences here. Now it'll be another 5 versus 5 coming in through, so first goal on the checklist for the Seoul Dynasty accomplished. Let's win the opening neutral. Can they now snowball some ultimates further on this defense? They're going to have to go for a fuller hold, and unlike the Dragons, Seoul can't afford to give away ticks, at least not too many left on the Fitz again. That's a disgusting opening shot. 5v4.
Izayaki's in the face of Stalker, forced them back to the team.
Seoul's off the point.
Prophet has rallied. He's going to have to use this and reinitiate. They don't have time to play around with this one. Not that much. Smurf goes down, trading lip for it. Tiny Overwatch in the Firehouse. Void finds the second kill. Who Are You? Breaches outside with the rest of the team. Cuts through Stalker. It's not looking good for him. Fitz tries a railgun shot, but they can't get through any of this lineup of Dragons. Vindame's going to try and touch. Here's Who Are You's blade. No one's in range for the overtime. And that's clean from the Dragons as they're able to level out the series.
And what a push as well. We have a full hold into 2 attempts for the Shanghai Dragons, and it's enough. It was so beautiful. That one rail is enough to get the cap, to give Dragons a 5v4. Seoul can only do so much. Despite the Prophet rally, it's not going to be enough HP there. Shanghai Dragons, they get the cap, and they take us to a 3rd map, 1-1 in the series so far. It's not going to be 4-0, not from Shanghai Dragons, and not from the Seoul Dynasty.
Oasis was a little bit of QA testing on the patch. I feel like Midtown is them fully installing the final product. Shang AI is online. And it's a equal series, tied 1 apiece at present. We're looking towards map number 3. It's going to be Seoul Dynasty's pick. And of course, it's going to be an escort, so make sure you join us after the break. Welcome back to the Summer Showdown Finals. Tied series, Shanghai Dragons have a dominant performance on Midtown to reset the series. Tied 1 apiece in this first to 4 clash. It is now Seoul Dynasty's pick, and it's an escort type for them to choose from. I'm looking at the map. I've got an idea of what it's going to be. I'll spoil it for you. We're going to Dorado as our next map choice.
And I don't mind it because I feel like Seoul Dynasty have some feelings about it, given that they were so close to beating the Dragons yesterday. You know, why not? Why not try and rewrite history, run it back, play it again? This time they actually get to, you know, hold B and win the map. You know, that was what it was. It just comes down to the Shanghai Dragons clutch factor, and the clutch factor just seems to be always ever present for the Shanghai Dragons. Maybe not on Oasis, but on future maps certainly the case. And I got a fun little fact for you here in terms of a stat line from our previous map on Midtown for you, Tread. On the Shanghai Dragons defense for Midtown A, they didn't die a single time. 0 deaths.
That's rough. That's rough for the Dynasty. Yeah, that's a bit of a mental boom. Not finding a single final blow is kind of painful.
And then when they came back for the attack, they obviously lost the initial push, right? That's when they got wiped. Yep. That was the first death for everybody. So everyone's got to sing. Nobody was deathless on the Dragons, so at least Seoul don't have to be contending with that. They at least got 1 kill on each member of the Dragons, but they still, unfortunately, were not able to hold on to Midtown at all. So a brilliant map choice for the Shanghai Dragons now requires a brilliant map choice in response. You better hope that if you are Seoul, that Dorado is going to be enough. Certainly, this is going to go back towards Ash territory. And in some ways, you know, I think if you can force Lip on the Ashe, who, by the way, is no slouch in the Ashe, it is still beneficial for Seoul because you're taking him off the Sojin. I firmly believe that Lip is the better Sojin between the two plays, between Lip and Fitz. But on the Ashe, things get a little bit more competitive, and that's what Seoul Dynasty need, a little bit of an edge.
Hopefully the edge is enough for them to get a lead in this series. Then Shanghai Dragons will have the benefit of being able to push, to choose the push map if Dynasty were to be able to come out here with the victory. Of course, it's a bit of a tall order. I think expectations coming into this series was for the Shanghai Dragons to walk away the victor. Some were predicting a 4-0 scoreline. We know that's not going to be the case anymore. Does leave the 4-1 open, which is still dominance if played correctly. I'm going to harpen back to their previous matchup, though you've already touched on it a bit, Avril. Dorado, nearly Seoul Dynasties. I mean, why wouldn't you go to this location? Like you said, you've got the Fitz option being on the Ashe. All makes sense when you look at it on paper. But now, Seoul Dynasty have upgraded. Have Dragons looked at that match yesterday and gone, okay, like we kind of fluked our way through that with an incredible clutch on point B. Where are the improvements that we need to make on that map so we don't have to rely on an insane clutch?
So onto Dorado we go. 7 maps potentially to play through here. Shanghai Dragons trying to keep that as lean as possible. Seoul Dynasty want to extend further. We're just going to get the lead now. 2-1. Feel good about this one for the Seoul Dynasty. Shanghai Dragons, though, that last Midtown really does also make me feel some type of way about how good they are and how big the gap is when they are truly online and the Seoul Dynasty are not there to match. Take a look at opening compositions here first and foremost. You do see Fitz coming through on the Ashe as expected. Shanghai Dragons, we'll see the response. Does Lip start on the Sojin? Does he start on the Ashe? I think previously, yesterday, he did start with the Ashe here on A, but he swapped a little bit later on.
Okay, going over to the Pharah. Okay, no, he's going to stay on the Ashe.
I wouldn't even mind if he actually starts the Widowmaker for just a little bit. Goes for a pot shot on the Widowmaker, then calls it. Other thing to look out for here is that Dragons do not have a Symmetra, so they're not going to go for an early TP play. Just going to walk through the opening gate, clear it. Look for courtyard control. Let's see if they take the courtyard, because that would indicate they're going to go for a high ground play, but currently just chilling on the low ground.
Dynamite ticks. Nice shot there. Finds who are you. Fitz opens up with first blood. Shanghai Dragons scatter into the buildings and try and wait for time.
That's what you need to see. This is why you play Dorado, why you get Fitz on the Ashe. Very comfortable on this hero. This is definitely one of his signatures. One area where maybe he can get the better of Lip, who currently does actually lead on ult charge, so Lip is doing the damage, takes a bit of a shot in response. Stalker got to be careful, get Fitz in trouble potentially, looking for take
Oh, that coach gun. That coach gun saved his life, absolutely. The quick movement shuts down Stalker, then go finds who are you. Legigon's removed as well. Dynasty have control of Dorado at present. Fantastic defense from the damage lineup.
And there's one more player, I think, on the side there. Yeah, Void calls it, drops off the map.
Yep.
Not going to feed in the ult charge there. Thought he may have been able to just stay alive and not get caught, but Overwatch prop hunt will be won by the Seoul Dynasty here. Reasonable hold so far, minute 10 expended, and we're not quite in the archway as far as the payload is concerned, so this one's going to go towards ultimates. Lip and Fitz so far leading the charge. We do expect Ash to get quick ultimates. 2 bombs online very soon. Lip gets a bit of Fitz. That's brilliant in terms of first blood.
So they need Stalker, also not too healthy right now. Coach going to create space and get them up on the high ground. Multi-use ability. Oh, nice shot there onto Vinde.
So clean.
Beautiful tag. Stalker's going to die to the dot. Smurfs under pressure as well. Clean up from Shanghai Dragons as they get into market.
Yes, I mean, Lip is currently doing 39% of his entire team's damage, right? So this is a 5v5 game, and he's doing 2 players worth of damage on his own currently. So nearly on the bob already. Lee Jae-gon being annoying in the front lines. Extra bit of dynamite tick to just help Lip along. He's even taking the aggressive high ground. Solo player pushing on here. Seoul Dynasty can still go for a final contest. I think Lip is going to have to pull Bob here to win.
I wonder where he places this one. He wants to get a good
just against the wall, yeah.
Yeah, on the gate. That's it. Lee Jae-gon's gone down, so they have punished the frog. Bob's got good range here to be able to keep the damage on. Fitz goes flying at Lip and takes him out whilst he's ascending through the sky. Stalker has the blade as well, but Ash is playing second fiddle to the performance Fitz just gave us. Does mute the Dragon's response, but they are going to clap back quite easily. There's 3 members still alive on the payload. They'll keep the pressure on and wait for those reinforcements to come in. No, don't
time.
Don't blade. He's going to blade. Oh, here it comes. Lee Jae-gon beat, Vinde beat. They'll cut through the Seoul Dynasty. Capture point A. They don't have an answer for this. They will take out the Froggy and move on to point B.
Couple of extra ultimates did need to come through there. Lip now swapping back over towards the Ash. Didn't even lose any ult charge there. I think it was something like 40% Tracer ult charge. Translates to 24% towards the Ash, and now we're moving towards the next bomb. Fed's still holding on to that one. The 2 support ultimates being burned by the Seoul Dynasty. Just the 1 from Shanghai Dragons, but the extra Bob and the Blade. Stalker also pulled the Blade. High ground being taken by Lip first and foremost, as we're double pushing so far on the bottom side. Respecting the dynamite, Shanghai full.
You're at that high ground to the Seoul Dynasty, sending Lee Jae-gon and Who Are You up there. Lip also has a high ground position to help contend from afar. Does mean they can't push up as much as they'd usually like to with the high ground. It's buying Shanghai extra space to be able to push it under. Dynamite's right on top of Void there, going to give some dot, just the minor pressure onto the healing resources.
When Shanghai Dragons go for the push again, you should see Fitz pull through the Bob. There it is now. They're going to just go for the full 5v5.
They've lost Prophet. And they've got the rally from Izayaki. There's a huge Brig advantage in effect. And they're going to press the advantage. Bob, just in the garden, not going to have the impact they were looking for.
Deflect.
Nice deflect there onto Fitz. It's a huge shutdown. And that payload's on the final corner already. Shanghai Dragons not under the same pressure they were yesterday on Dorado.
And this is where the Rampage should come through next for ultimates. Lip's already got a second Bob, by the way. Before a single Rampage has come through, a second Bob's already available. Gets the push up. That's a reasonable position for the Bob to beat. Both Rampage coming on through. Did Void miss?
No way.
Smurf missed.
Smurf missed because Smurf got delayed. He got knocked up and he had a little bit of ascension with the Bob. The Bob just interrupted that. Smurf still went forward, still charged through, but that slight delay, that slight discord didn't make it easy for him, and he ended up whiffing. I think that's like the 3rd one today that Smurf has not been able to find anyone.
Yeah, 2 in the Philly Fusion series, now 1 here as well. This one I think we can say was a bit more, not quite his fault, right? He did get booped, he did get interrupted by the Bob, but still tragic nonetheless. Still does mean that Seoul once again cannot hold that beat point. Shanghai Dragons, they will cap it through. We swap sides here. Shanghai are now on the defender side, and Seoul, as the defenders, have payload control from the attacking side. Vindame on half HP.
Keeping an eye on him. Dinking the Prophet, put the shield up. Stalker, now the next target. Beat from Lee Jae-gon. It's the answer for the Who Are You Blade to reinvigorate him. Here's Stalker going back with one of his own. They found Void. Everyone else should start to fall after that one. Stalker can't find a target, but he's done enough as it is. He'll now go on the hunt without the blade for Lip. Takes him out in the sky. Fitz for the final blow.
It's the extra rally. I mean, Prophet did get forced to pop the rally, right? You saw the dink from Lip onto Prophet. Prophet feeling like his life is in danger. Doesn't want to die there. Pulls through the rally. Vindame pops in that extra sound barrier when Who Are You pulls blade. The double support ultimate's being laid in the extra green HP. Too hard for Who Are You. He even got multi-slashes there. I'm sure Who Are You's damage for that fight was high, but it did not translate to any kills because it's just too much green HP to get through.
Bob on the field. It's Fitz. Lip's going to answer back with one of their own.
Bob and Bob.
Knocks Bob up, goes into the conflict. Lip will then destroy Fitz with the Bob. Still got his up, and it's holding space. It does mean that they can't press forward. Seoul Dynasty can't go into the backlines of Shanghai Dragons. That's now expired. Lip finds Fitz again with a beautiful headshot. This is supposed to be Fip's signature hero. Lip is the one having the impact right now. Prophet's isolated. That's a good takedown. Stalker tries to delay the damage. Only throws himself onto the fire as well. 1 minute 20 left, final corner.
And you know what? Lip he lived in that entire situation as well. Stalker tried to hunt him down, but the peel from the rest of the Dragons, including Lip's own peel on the coach gun, too powerful. And now the Shanghai Dragons on the victory path. They got up a minute and 10 remaining, but they're so close to the finish line now. No ultimates are online for either team. This one is a complete neutral both ways.
Stalker has to return back to the payload to touch it. Can't send himself up there to go and find Lip. Move back. Who are you? Gives him
Look at the XP.
Shout in. Stalker's cut. Prophet can't hide. Lip's got all the sightlines he needs to perform. They're going to have to break him down here. They can't do it. Fitz found one. Going to need a whole of a more than that to be able to find anything. And that's the cap coming through. 40 seconds remaining. Shanghai Dragons have leveled up their Dorado between now and yesterday.
Yeah, and it looks like despite Seoul winning Oasis, and that looked like a level up from Seoul themselves, Midtown was a far more one-sided Midtown from Shanghai compared to where we saw that one 2 matches ago. Dorado already looking better than the Dorado that we saw last time as well. Let's take a look at the replay now. This will be the Bob that interrupts the Rampage. Boom, like you said, pushes Smurf up that much further. And despite Smurf still going forward, everyone from the Shanghai Dragons had the extra moment. It might have only been 1 second there, Trid, but 1 second is enough to just spread yourselves out, remove yourself from the Rampage AoE, and Smurf doesn't hit a damn person.
Like I said, that is the excusable whiff, as you were saying. But now, Shanghai Dragons go on to the defense, Seoul Dynasty on the offense. Now, I think Shanghai Dragons should be able to put up a good defense. Seoul Dynasty, it's their map pick. You're hoping they can get some serious progress. We might be able to do Dorado all over again. Do have a mountain to climb here, though. Shanghai Dragons are looking lethal today. Lip, at the moment, rolling out on the Sojourn, not going to contest on the Ashe for the time being.
And that's because it's mostly Seoul's strategy to play the Ashe, right? I mean, Lip will play the Ashe on the offense here, but typically speaking, when we saw the defense yesterday for the Shanghai Dragons on Dorado, it was Sojourn, you know. Got that very famous clip of Lip and Izayaki with the 1-2 alley-oop with the rail into the whip shot, and now, as you sort of called it, I think it was a rail and flail. This is going to be the teleport play from Seoul Dynasty onto high ground roof, and should be Seoul Dynasty rotating towards courtyard on the right side. You look at Dragon's positioning, they're ready for it.
They're taking control of the payload. They're just dashing onto the Shanghai. They want Stalker. Good reposition back to the rest of his team. They get control of the objective. Vindane into the tiny Overwatch room, and that's what we're going to be rewarded with. Who Are You goes for a huge dash through. Lije gone the one finding the final blows. The 2-for-2 trade. They're right outside the Dynasty spawn room, though. I know who gets the advantage out of this one. With Who Are You still alive on the hunt for Fitz, he finds one more kill. Going to be a cut down there as they trade out range DPS. Stagnated fight, but Dynasty
I think Who Are You was the only one surviving there, but you did see Izayaki and Lije gone full. It was very close. If those two players, or at least even one, survived, Dragons could have held in the 3v3 scenario, but no support. Seoul Dynasty do have supports. They have support. They have the respawn advantage as well. Too much for Dragons to deal with. Who Are You gets one extra kill to Fitz on his way through, and it's enough. Who Are You low now, has to make sure he doesn't go down. He is very far ahead of Stalker in terms of blade charge. Lip gets the first blood again.
He can't just keep getting away with this, Avril. Can't do this in the finals of the Summer Showdown. Dynamite will burn through. It's enough to help Vindane get the kill on Izayaki. They trade out Smurf, though. Fitz goes down again. Lije gone on the hunt right now. Stalker and Who Are You are going to trade blows once more. Another muted fight. It's very messy. No one's getting anything clean from this one, Avril. It's so costly on either side, regardless of who has the numbers advantage.
Well, I think that's at least a little bit refreshing compared to what happened on Midtown, right? A single rail headshot into a full team wipe now. At least going to be a little bit more back and forth. Well, he does find the blade. Has to stay alive, 40 or so HP. But the players are back now. There was a very late death on the Stalker that allows the Shanghai Dragons to get all their respawners back through. Bob now coming into play.
Bob just gives Lip an acceleration to the top as beats are being traded. Play from Who Are You. Finds Prophet. Fitz is gone. 5v3. Bob, you're going to depart as well. Looks upward. Finds Stalker. Wants to get that kill. does not give him any extra charge. He has the blade anyway. He doesn't get a kill. 145 team kill. No one from the Dragons tried in that last engagement, I don't think.
Time is a factor now because we still have to see Seoul finish this map. 40-second time bank here with the Shanghai Dragons. The Seoul yet to get through A. I mean, by this time already, Dragons were on B, pushing on through. So Seoul Dynasty are behind part. They're behind the pacing that they require. They've also spotted out the rotation rather. Seoul Dynasty pushing through the underside. So allow Seoul Dynasty to at least get into position to go through the archway soon, but you know, they are kind of wasting time. We've gone from 140 to about 110, 30 seconds gone just on rotation.
They've gone from 2 engagements to 1. Stalker put down at half HP, pulls the blade out so low. This should be a pickup for them. Prophet finds Izayaki. Lip creating some space, goes for the shot. Fitz finds Who Are You? The railgun was not enough. Finds Prophet, it's only 1. But that's a decisive fight win for Seoul Dynasty. Something they were lacking so far in this round. They will get point A in a time bank extension.
Yeah, we saw it from Lip's POV there as well, really trying to get his best done. He tried to get some shots in. I think he might have even got one rail headshot there, but it did not result in a kill. Stalker himself was super tanky, and it was Lip's primary target, who, by the way, Lip is now going to be on the Sojin for B. So this is a change up from yesterday. Yesterday, Lip still played the Sojin on B now. He's going to swap over. And Stalker's Blade being successful. Seoul Dynasty are on the move, but less than 3 minutes to get past B, and then they still have to finish the map on C. Fitz likely to be alive.
That's away by the skin of his teeth. Stalker and Vindame challenging high ground. Fitz not taking that angle that we saw from Lip on the last time. It does give him a little bit more freedom on the high ground.
Dynamite? Unlucky.
Yeah, okay. That's not a whiff rampage, but it's still a whiffed ability. Uncharacteristic for Lip, I would say. Rampage for Void.
We've all done it.
Smurf can answer back as well. Good dynamite up there. Get some extra tick damage. No one's pushing them off, though. It's going to be Shanghai Dragons that might have to drop at some point.
Yeah, they're going to have to. It'll be Rampage. So remember, there is a bit of a better Rampage situation for Void here because Seoul, they can't really Rampage uphill. So Void can drop in Rampage. Smurf can't really do anything unless Dragons drop down to meet him. So it will depend on when Dragons want to do that. You notice that Who Are You is the one actually touching payload. It's pretty safe for him to do so. With Bob coming through, Shanghai Dragons need to start thinking about their move.
They're under pressure. Here it comes. It just finds Vindame and Stalker. Both get themselves out of the fight. Vindame not fast enough, unfortunately. Smurf comes in with a counter. Fights free. Beat from Lee J Gold to stem the bleeding. Izayaki's got to rally up in about 5 seconds. Void needs to stay alive. Who Are You? Finding 2. Lip follows up onto a 3rd. Good shutdown from the Dragons. Yep. Dynasty will return. We're beating a blade. And
Vindame didn't get to use the sound barrier there as well. I think he was one of the ones caught by the Rampage. So they didn't want to take that risk. And Seoul Dynasty, they're going to end up losing that fight. Void gets the better Rampage as expected. Shanghai Dragons waiting for their moment to drop, and the patience being shown is so brilliant to see. I mean, they were not going to be pressured out to make a mistake. There are no unforced errors. And Shanghai Dragons still hold on to 3 important ultimates. That's 2 more than the Seoul Dynasty have, and we're still waiting for the Stalker Blade. 89% now, 90, 10 away. Izayaki's the only person that can actually counter that one through, so it's going to have to be a very important rally. Less than 1 minute now for Seoul to get the cap.
Bob it.
I think the Bob, yeah, it's overshot. Too far.
Just sprinting past the church.
I mean, Seoul,
maybe next time, Bob.
In a weird way, it still does its job because Seoul, it's kind of trapped in the courtroom now. They can't push forward. I mean, they could choose to push forward past the Bob, but they're just going to wait out the Bob. So, in some weird way, Dragons, they prevent Seoul from pushing. Now the play from Who Are You?
Well, they didn't have time for the beat to come out. Trying to disengage from Stalker's play. Gets shut down by Lip before he can find a connection. Who Are You doesn't find anything. But he did draw the attention of the Seoul Dynasty. Prophet has the rally. It's 5v3. Lip's uncontested in the high ground right now. Smurf's going to get brought down by the shield bash. 10 seconds remaining. No one's in a position to touch. Where's the frog?
That'll be it. This is it. Map's over.
5 seconds. Viddame's going to go for it. Push back. Too late.
On the back.
There's no answer here. There you have it. Shanghai Dragons. 2-1 scoreline. They take Dorado. And it wasn't meant to be for the Seoul Dynasty. We're looking towards a push map as our next stop.
Just far too much distance gained by Shanghai Dragons. This time not even going to get caught up on B. No clutch required. They finished the map. 40 seconds to spare. Seoul Dynasty do not get past B. It's them who cannot get this cap on B. It's almost like the opposite of what we saw yesterday. The Shanghai Dragons, 2 maps in a row now, looking very dominant. Midtown was a full hold into 2 attempts. This one was at least a little bit more competitive. We saw a C point. We saw much of the B point. Still not enough for the Seoul Dynasty. They have the next map pick.
We go to a quick break. When we come back, it's push. And we got one step closer to get into that match point. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to the Summer Showdown Finals. Shanghai Dragons leading the series after taking down Dynasty on Dorado. It is now the Seoul Dynasty's map pick, and they're going to have to choose a push type. I'm looking ahead towards what they've chosen here, Avril. They're going to be locking in Colosseo as the next destination for this match.
And I think that's pretty predictable as well, because when you look across our previous series, right, that was the winning map versus the Philadelphia Fusion, and by quite some margin as well. It was 111 meters to 58. Now, obviously, the Shanghai Dragons are not the Philadelphia Fusion. In fact, they should be much better. They are much better, given that it's already a 2-1 lead. How is this going to look, though, for Dragons? Because we haven't really seen a fourth map. I mean, they played only a single map 4 over the course of the entire qualifier stage, and I mean, what even was the scoreline? Let me have a look. It was a Colosseo as well. They did beat the Philadelphia Fusion. And if I'm not mistaken, just looking at score lines, I don't think it was particularly close. The score line was 138 to 49. So if you want to kind of like get a bit of an apples to apples comparison, we just saw Seoul beat the Philly Fusion on Colosseo, and it didn't seem that close. Shanghai beat the Philly Fusion on Colosseo in an even more commanding way.
Well, if you want to do results-based analysis, it's not a good omen for Seoul Dynasty. We know the form the Dragons are in right now. They're pretty terrifying. Who are you? Clips in. Vindane, clips in. Colosseo is our next location for this showdown. And the Dragons climb one place closer to getting to match point and a finals victory in the Summer Showdown.
And they haven't been to a single final so far this year. Kickoff clash. They lost to the Seoul Dynasty in a very, very close game. We looked at Mid-Season Madness. Dropped down to the losers bracket. No dice there. Now, finally, the third tournament, our third stage. Summer Showdown, the Shanghai Dragons 2-1 up in the finals, looking for match point very briefly. Now, I think a lot of commenters would have said 4-0 Shanghai Dragons. That's no longer possible. 4-1 now is the current target unless the Seoul Dynasty can get this map underway, can win this map. As we did actually have a map choice from Seoul Dynasty going towards Dorado that went awry. This is their map choice again. Colosseo, we just saw this trend. We just saw them win here.
Let's keep an eye on how these work. Once again, most of the team playing on the outside of the tunnel. Don't see that a lot, but they will rotate back. Apart from Seoul, actually, they're all outside for the time being, hoping to overwhelm in a 5v1. Usually just send one member out here for a little bit of poke. Now going to rotate round. Decide to switch before the point unlocks.
In the case, we are going to be waiting for our opening rail shot with the side swap rather, by the way. Shanghai Dragons kind of take the early robot control, and they have a couple meters already on board with Seoul Dynasty forced to walk up.
Vindane boops them back into the fight, keeping it compact. Gon's paying some attention over to Prophet. Railgun online for Lip. Fitz so close to going down. Who are used to be the first victim though? Good follow-up from the Seoul Dynasty to find 3, make that 4. Decisive fight win. Progress is theirs.
5. Bend but not break there for the Seoul Dynasty. So Lip literally rail Fitz down to 1 HP. Fitz should not have survived that. He did. He did not go down, was not cleaned up by anybody from the Dragon side, and then Seoul Dynasty, they get the frags, they get all 5, and all 5 alive as well to push on forward. They don't need to wait for any respawners. Probably not going to get more than 30 meters here. 30 will be about the limit. Shanghai Dragons might even decide to push him before that. We'll see what the decision for the Dragons is. By the way, Lip and Stalker both on 70%.
Still be in that battle for now. Spray down for each other, realize it's not worth it, and have the bite to actually win that duel on the railgun. Disruptor shot reflected back, makes things a little bit awkward, but not insurmountable. Flip comes in.
Smurf low.
Who are used load. Void's also feeling the hurt right now as well. Will go down to Smurf. Again, Shanghai on the back foot in these fights.
Shanghai should push. They're down 1, but they got to go in, and the reason they have to go in is because if they get any trade, Seoul can't really make it in distance. Lip's not going to pull through the overclock. Seoul Dynasty, the 5v4 doesn't count for anything now.
They have to back off. They're respecting the damage too much. 1 left in the chamber. Stalker takes him down. Who are you still available as a damage option for them? The Fitz finds Lee J gone. Another fight win coming in for Seoul Dynasty. They're dealing with the Dragons so well now, Avril. Consecutive fight wins are really creating a lead for them on push.
And without dying as well. Seoul Dynasty is still on 0 deaths. Every single member. 5 alive, pushing on through 50 meters. Gained 4 ultimates as well. It was a overclock for a rally in the previous fight. Shanghai Dragons still waiting for Void and Who Are You. Those are the 2 ultimates missing. Who Are You only 5% away. Threatening the cap now, 4 meters away. Shanghai Dragons do touch.
Need to start getting some progress back. Only 3 minutes gone so far, so it is going to be something they can achieve. Dog finds 1. Fitz with the overclock. Can't find a connection. He's got 2 melee damage dealers in his face. Void traded for Fitz. Izayaki's rally wasn't enough to save him. The fight will continue on the point. Numbers advantage in favor of the Seoul Dynasty at present. 4 versus 3. Stalker back to the point. Plays with his lineup. High ground. So strong for the Dragons, but they have to drop down to contest. Lee Jae-gon goes in to try and force the issue. Who are you is low. Got through. How does he live there? Finds Prophet without dying himself, but Stalker changes the attention over the lip. Smurf, they want to try and lock him down. Eardrums blown out by Lee Jae-gon. And they finally clear the Dynasty off and are able to move them forward.
Shanghai Dragons finally getting a fight when that's the first time that Seoul have actually been wiped, the first time any of their members have actually died so far on this map alone. 63 meters, but failure to get the cap. That's the most important thing here. Shanghai Dragons do not allow Seoul Dynasty to get a checkpoint. So, everything's still within contention. Great lead for Seoul. This is a very, very nice lead indeed. 4 minutes, and it's what you want.
Rampage and Void. Finds Smurf and Fitz. Carnage after the fact, layering the damage on. This Lee Jae-gon to find Fitz. They lose his Zayaki. Smurf goes down as well. Payload's been pushed back. Dragons have control of the fight at the moment. They want to try and seal the deal here. Prophet's gone, Stalker gone, Vindame in the spawn room as well. They're not going to be able to match the progress yet. They're going to need another fight to make that happen.
Okay, a couple fights maybe. Again, first checkpoint here, super important. Lip nearly on the overclock. Lee Jae-gon looking towards the sound barrier. I don't know if he can tempo this one just yet. Depends on if their read on Stalker's blade is accurate or not. Will be a very contentious fight nonetheless. Prophet to force his own rally to come on through regardless.
Playing around the high ground, and there's that overclock you were talking about. Rally from Prophet, that's the go button. Overclock triggered. Takes one shot. Beat from Lee Jae-gon. Smurf goes down. Doesn't need the headshots. The bodies are enough. But he uses one for Stalker. Uses one for Vindame. Oh, Lip! It's sweet music to our ears. That's the fight win they need, and they're going to take control of the map.
He knows exactly where I like to get kissed. Straight on the lips right there. 4K coming in through. Overclock getting it done, and now we're threatening the cap. The cap has been found just now. There it is. The Shanghai Dragons very much in the lead. So important that they get that cap. The checkpoint achieved. Forward hold, forward spawn. See how much further they can get now. Seoul Dynasty yet to actually contest, and we continue pushing. 80 meters, might even be 90 by the time the Seoul go in. They need a blade get. Who are you? Get shut down. No more blade.
Blade shut down! Fitz wants to answer back. He's seen Lip in the highlight reel. He wants one of his own. The Dragons are far more respectful to allow that to happen. Blade comes in from Stalker. You've got the rally from his Zayaki, but he's the primary target. Void goes down as well. This is it. They're crumbling. Lip finds one on the exit for the taxation. Lee Jae-gon.
That's cheeky.
Yeah, it gets pulled back to make sure they get the kill. Yep, but here's the pushback. There is quite a lot of distance to go, though, so need more than that. They got ults in the back, though, so Dynasty have the tools to be able to go.
A robot's feet stomping on the ground so hard, you saw Smurf's chair just rocking in the background. 88 meters, though. Seoul Dynasty have the resources to catch up, but they need to win, I would say, 2 fights in a row here, at least. And cleanly as well if they can. Here comes Fitz with the overclock, looking for some damage. Jagon took a shot.
Yeah, so did Fitz. Fitz taking damage, a lot of it. Void finds 2. Beat from Vindame. Smurf, when an anti-heal goes, he might want to answer back with one of his own. Might not even need it. They found his Zayaki. One back on the Stalker. Lee Jae-gon's gone down as well. And find Who Are You. Decisive fight win. They can keep the Rampage and the rally for the next fight. And try and get the consecutive ones. Void just being a nuisance, but will ultimately go down.
Okay, it is a bit of a delayed kill there, so, I mean, the time is becoming a factor, but at the same time, it will be a delay to get Void back. And let's take a look at the replay now from Fitz's POV. Boom, shuts down Who Are You. Disgustingly good shot at me. Listen, Lip gets the 4Ks, but in that particular fight, you don't need 4 from Fitz. Just the 1 required there, and Seoul can win a fight. Here comes Lip again, though. It's overclock time once more. And he won an entire fight on his own last time. If Lip pulls through with another overclock, Seoul Dynasty get done.
Oh my god, look at him just charge into the back line. Take the alternative route. He comes out from Lee Jae-gon. There's the Rampage. Stalker's low. Haven't converted the kills, but Stalker will go down. Dragons weather those 2 ultimates and slow down the fight.
4 meters.
Got some options available.
Dragons cannot allow Seoul to cap here. Very important the Dragons stop the push now. They have the player advantage. They lose Lee Jae-gon.
The fight slows down once more. Waiting for the cooldowns, waiting for the healing.
Lee Jae-gon's respawning. They stole the payload. They stole the bot.
Oh my god, how they got away with that one? They were in full pursuit to try and grab it. Is the Arky will finally be shut down. This does buy them extra time. Even if they lose the fight here, they'll have chance to reinforce and deny it.
You have to be careful though, because Dragons are still winning
Dynasty.
If Seoul win this fight cleanly, they can still get this cap because the robot's pushing very quickly now. Shanghai Dragons don't have Void in life. They're going to have to touch without Void. Otherwise, they give up the cap.
They lost the Edigon now. They'll gather crap to the checkpoint, but they've not lost the map progress overall, I believe.
There's
the checkpoint with the spawn advantage is very powerful.
A minute 15 left. I think this has to be the push. If Seoul Dynasty do not win off this push and gain the lead, I think they're going to lose this map. There's just not a lot of time left. This has got to be the push. This is their best opportunity now. Fitz,
again! He does it!
Just can't play the game.
Twice in a row from Fitz. Who Are You has not been able to put the blade. You want him to win the fight. Fitz heard you, Avril. Fitz knows the win condition, dodges the headshot, doesn't go for the shot. He's done enough. They can push this to victory. Shanghai Dragons need to run in. The line's right there. No one can contest. Shanghai Dragons have been put on the back foot with 40 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is going to be a monstrous push from Shanghai Dragons at 100 meters online for Seoul Dynasty in just a half second now. Fitz has absolutely put the team on his back here, and Shanghai Dragons are feeling the pain. Can Shanghai even do anything in the last 30 seconds? They have to win this fight and many more. Fitz goes down.
Izayaki's taken out as well, equalized. They shut down Lip in the back. They've got no long-range damage. He has to return to the fight, though. It's looking pretty dire as the Seoul Dynasty are able to find more of the Dragons. Who Are You? Needs to stay alive here. They need every number they can to touch and trigger the overtime. Every second they leave it, it just gets more distance for them to push back if they want to win this map.
Jigon's low. Dead. Stalker gets him. That's another 5v4. That's the beat gone. That was the only ultimate event.
Rampage
It's down to Lip now.
Oh, the anti-heal on the front line. Lip has to pull out the overclock, but he's under pressure. They find Profit. Nice carnage on top of them. Locks him in the corner. Lip will find the kills. Shanghai Dragons take control, but look how far they have to push this payload if they want to get the map.
And it still costs them an ultimate, so the Shanghai Dragons are lacking resources now. So despite winning, they can't build up enough of an ult bank, so they have to win, I would say, 3 fights here. Considering that there's going to be another fight in the neutral as the payload comes on through, we're going to get a fight in the concourse here. There's a bunch of forward respawners, so Shanghai Dragons unfortunately couldn't even deny the respawn wave. And if Dragons win this fight, they still have to push something like 30-odd meters.
Void can't go down here. Beat comes out from Legion. Rampage finds Fitz and Vindame. 5v3.
Expensive.
As they take him out.
Expensive.
They're clearing him.
It's 2 ultimates.
No ults available on Seoul Dynasty though until probably the next fight after this one. They're going to have to do consecutives to win.
Seoul still have 2 fights. Seoul still have enough fights remaining that they can build an ult bank. The comeback is on now. This will be one of the greatest Coliseum comebacks you've ever seen if the Shanghai Dragons can complete the heist again. How clutch
Who Are You
are the
has to
Shanghai
find a blade.
Dragons? We saw them on Dorado clutching it through, and now the opportunity is open yet again on Coliseum. 17 meters, one final
There's
push.
one fight
We're
left.
in the OT.
Who Are You has to find this blade, Avril. He cannot get shut down by Fitz again.
Vindame
They're looking for it. Rally. Blade's pulled out. He goes for Smurf. Fitz isn't there to stop him this time. He's still alive at the moment. Uses the beat to reinvigorate the fight. No one's gone down despite Who Are You having the blade. Ultimate's burned. Profit gets the rally. There's the overlap for Dynasty. Void down low. Needs to heal. They're in the fight. They're keeping him alive for the time being. They found him. Stalker's taking him out. 5v4. Dynasty up against the wall. Still standing strong. Can't find him. Lip behind the cover. Who's touching right now? He takes the shot. Izayaki and Who Are You are gone. Seoul Dynasty weren't allowed. They were not going to let that happen to them. Seoul Dynasty hold strong on their map pick, equalize the series at 2 apiece. But boy, Avril, the Dragons came close to having an unbelievable comeback at the end right there.
I would like to decree that the series is officially on. 2 maps apiece.
Ooh.
This is the furthest that the Shanghai Dragons have been pushed this entire tournament stage. Last 2 matches between Shanghai and Seoul, 3-0 sweeps. The only map lost by Shanghai, 1 versus Fusion. Now 2 maps lost in a single series, and we've still got 3 maps left to play. We still have not even found our match point yet. That is a minimum of 6 maps in this grand finals. This is how a finals is meant to be played.
Surprising everyone, the Dynasty are coming out strong. No 4 Overwatch to be found today. We're about to take a break. When we come back, we will have a control map waiting for you. It's Dragon's pick for the 2nd time this series. Well, Avril, we've crossed the red line and we're now in the new world. Our log poses are no longer set for the islands. We're going to have to chart a new course. We have no idea where we're going with this one. We never thought the series would go this far. We stand at 2 apiece. Shanghai Dragons versus the Seoul Dynasty. It is Shanghai Dragons pick as we head over to map number 5, a control map, to see who can go to match points.
I just think it's so uncanny, Trid, that, in Kickoff Clash Finals, Philly versus Seoul Dynasty, I'm like, boy, this is going to be a close one. This is going to be a banger. That was a 4-0, and now we get to Summer Showdown. I'm like, probably going to be a 4-0, and this one is truly a banger. We have waited so long. I think 3 of the last matches between these two teams have ended in 3-0s. And I've been hyping up this matchup, this rivalry for so long. I feel like we've had some plentiful of good matches, especially in Kickoff Clash, right? That we had multiple map 5s. Now we are finally getting another map 5. If this was a standard first to 3, this would be this would be a series for the ages. It still will be, I think, going into the final 3 maps, because it has to be 6 maps minimum. But Trid, for El Clasico number 25, it really is delivering now. This rivalry is really delivering now.
I mean, we called it a bunch in Coliseum. I don't think we have the result we're seeing right now on the screen if Fitz didn't have an incredible clutch potential against Who Are You. Not once, but twice in a row, immediately shutting down his blades and not allowing him to play the game of Overwatch. I think we might have seen a different result there, so more credit to Fitz. Because we did say they were kind of trailing. The damage lineup kind of struggles a little bit head-to-head against the Shanghai Dragons. They're really making a case that that is not true at all.
And that's what we need to see out of Fitz, because, part of the storyline for this rivalry is that Lip has had Fitz's number almost their entire careers in the Overwatch League. Like, we really haven't seen Fitz get the better of Lip, and now Fitz and Lip fighting much closer, neck and neck, and Fitz is certainly being able to shut down key important members like Who Are You. Like, we talk about him like the best Genji in the world, and I really do think he still is, but when Fitz shuts them down twice like that, the Shanghai Dragons can do very little in response, and now we go to the map that will finally decide who gets match point. It is Busan. This is also uncharted territory. The last 2 matchups, neither of these teams went to a Busan. We had Oasis, we had Lee Jung. It's low.
Yeah, manages to jump just at the right time to get out the sightlines of Lip. Keep himself alive in this fight. Doesn't want to create a 5v4 this early on before the point even unlocks. Playing around the health packs is advantageous for Dynasty. This Dragon does the beeline. Profit down to a headshot. Railgun removes him from the field. Void then finds the carnage on Vindame. Stalker gets one back for Prosperity. He will lose his life. First cap going over to the Dragons.
A little bit of a delayed death by Stalker there as well. Not too sure if Deflect was really the right call, but very small margins here. Probably won't end up making a difference. Stalker and Who Are You neck and neck for the blade. 45 to 43. Who Are You leading by just the 2% here. Lip and Fitz as well. Only 3% separating those two. It's the supports that are strangely lagging behind here, minus Iziaku, who's probably going to get the rally first. That could be a tempo rally as well. Void on half HP.
Will sustain.
Oh, the deflect!
Beautiful to send it back to Lip. Prophet then gets his Izayaki. Void's going to be the next target. Who Are You gets taken out as well. He should do. How does he... What? Okay, that's why he's heralded as one of the best Genjis in the world. Very evasive. But it doesn't change the outcome. There's going to be a flip here for the Dynasty. They'll take control of downtown.
That's the young challenger in Stalker, right? Played the match in our last series, the lower bracket finals versus the Philadelphia Fusion, and now ahead of Who Are You in the Blade will find it. Gets a deflect kill versus Lip to start off the fight. 10% and counting for Soul's actual cap percentage. Tempo beat from Lee Jae. Stalker will wait this out now and pull the blade after.
Yeah, Vindame's going to have an answer as well if Who Are You finally gets his online. Both the rallies are going to expire before that happens, I feel. Here's Stalker's blade. Who Are You can answer if he wants to, but he's holding on to it for a second longer. Izayaki's already gone. There's no answer here as Stalker finds 2. Turns his attention to Lee Jae gone. It's Smurf to pick up the final blow. And that's Dragons fall into the wayside. Who Are You holding on to the blade. For now, Lip will have the overclock when they return as well.
Well, he's waiting out the Vindame sound barrier, right? That was an early deterrent. Vindame didn't want to take any chances. Wanted to give Stalker the extra HP to play through for his own blade, knowing it was going to be uncounted. At least they got the extra rally out of Iziaki. Now Vindame was not going to have the sound barrier versus Who Are You. Who Are You pulls immediately. Can this be successful? No.
CC locked up. He went straight into the wall of meat. There is the Junker Queen and Brigitte. No answer there. Carnage takes him out. Void's an easy pickup. Dynasty have control of Busan. They have control of downtown.
This looks
They're
good.
cleaning up the Dragons, and we're getting into the final sections of this round, Avril.
Yeah. And look, Seoul Dynasty, they've been good on control today. They actually took their first map on control away from the Shanghai Dragons. That's one of their 2 map wins so far in this series, and currently they lead by a reasonable margin, 81% to 35 on the cap itself. Both Rampages about to come online. Lip still has the overclock available. That should come through for this particular fight. I expect the Dragons are going to burn double ultimates. How many does Smurf get in the Rampage? Does Smurf even go for now? 4v5.
Vindame's down. This is what the Dragons need. They're at 99% by the time they get this flip. They're going to be playing from overtime all the way up. Rampage cuts through, finds free, immediate answer to convert Lip. Izayaki and Lee Jae gone, surely are going to follow shortly after. Remover following Sojourn. This is great recovery from the Dragons. Smurf and Fitz have already lost their lives. Prophet, isolated,
Stalker, what is this?
Down. He's turning it out onto Izayaki. I think he's going to try and put the team on his back, but I don't think this was it, Chief. Lost too many members to make an impact, and the Dragons are going to get the flip here, turn it all back, and start their assault against the 99.
And Stalker tried to be the hero. They were the hero play, but who are you as the protagonist? Don't forget, Shanghai Dragons will easily get the cleanup there. They survived against the Smurf Rampage. Void will get his own Rampage through. Stalker, like we were talking about, 2 versus how many? 2v4 was it? 2v5? Stalker pulls a blade, uncharacteristically tries to save the day, and that is just going to be a wasted ultimate.
Look at the tempo which Dynasty get onto the point. Rally from Izayaki, Smurf down low, Stalker, next target, he's down. There's Smurf as well. 1 ult, 1 fight, 66% in climbing. They have beat and played for the next offensive. This is so winnable for Dragons.
Fitz is going to have to fall off the map, gets booped off, so the kill credit even to Lee Jae on that is critical. It's just a tragic way for Fitz to go down and a lot of time burnt. We're already into last fight territory. That 1 fight for Dragons pulls us above 85% with a super late death onto Fitz. Vindane will get the beat, but Lee Jae-gon's already got it, and we talk about the blade from Stalker. Well, guess what? Who Are You has a blade, and Stalker is nowhere near.
Who Are You's under pressure, though. He can't pull the blade out when he's that low. Gets the roar. Here's the blade. He's in the face of the Junker Queen and Brigitte once again. Beats traded.
Oh, C9.
Tragic.
Oh, dear. Real
Tragic
C9. Actual C9. Legitimate C9.
Ready for battle.
Oh dear, Seoul Dynasty. You're so focused on the fight happening in front of you, you didn't pay attention to the objective. You saw Stalker go for the dash right at the end there, just a second too late to trigger the overtime. 100% over to the Shanghai Dragons. That would have been hard to take anyway, based on how the fight was going, I feel. But to lose it like that, oh, that's a mental breaker.
I think that was pretty winnable for Seoul. Who Are You was not getting the kills on the blade. Both the sound barriers coming on through, and Who Are You was just slashing green HP. Seoul surviving that one brings it back to a 5 versus 5 neutral. I think that was very winnable for Seoul, but no touch, no contest, no point, no round. That could be, you know, we could get to the end of series and look back at that and think, okay, well, Seoul, what if they won that round, but they didn't, and now Fitz going down. 5v4 for Dragons. Dragons going to get first cap.
And for Dame, they're not interested in the Frog. They might return their attention to Smurf. They know he's going to come back round anyway. Prophet shield bashing to get back to safety. Railgun shot not going to connect. They can't find the extra kills on the out, but they will get first cap.
Clean as you like it. When Lip's hitting shots, he's getting the opening frags. You know it's going to go poorly for the Seoul Dynasty. No real responses there. So how is this going to look now for the rest of the round? Lee Jae-gon looking for a boop. Won't find it.
Look at this. Who Are You playing so far away from the team? We're coming from the back line. Void's down low. Prophet getting focused down. Who Are You? Just a Stalker. Ironically so on the back line, taking out the support. Izayaki's removal of Mindane. Stalker then deals with them. Trading 2 for 2. Still got Void alive for now, but Vindane gets the melee kill. An aggressive Lucio is what we love to see.
Oh, Lip
Mega denied. Stalker able to slice through and steal that one away. Guarantees the kill. Flip coming in for the Dynasty.
That's really unfortunate as well, because if Lip actually survives that, then they have numbers. Shanghai Dragons will have 4 up versus 4. Stalker and Lip still making their way back. Tempo rally can't be responded to by Seoul. Shanghai hold the cap. Look at that, still 50%.
Dynasty should have got away with that. That should have been theirs to claim. They're going to drop the beat for this one. Lee Jae-gon has an answer for it. But what will answer
Blades
the blades that are about to come online? Here's Lips, Railgun. Overclocking the Vindame. 2 shots, 1 kill. Turns into Profit. Finding him on the slide. Sends the Dynasty back to the spawn room. And Dragons have control as we get into the final sections of this round and what could be this map.
Oh, Prophet, you gotta be careful. Lip still has Rail Charge. He's looking for another opening pick all the way in Seoul Dynasty spawn. If he gets it, that'll be Final Fight territory. In fact, it's already Final Fight territory. Seoul can't afford to lose anybody here. He's just hunting. Do you dare peek?
They're
Lip
going
through the underpass now. Seoul Dynasty gets straight to point. Rally in hand. Who are you waiting to blade?
Stalker also has his. Cuts through. He's on Void straight away. Blade from Who Are You doesn't find anyone fast enough. As the Arky will get fits.
Cap, flip.
Stalker's dealt damage, gets one. Good flip, they needed that one. Any C9s won't cost them that much. Stalker cuts through as the Arky. Legion's about to follow him. Stalker doing the work, trying to redeem himself for that blade on downtown. They got to fight up against 99%. Thankfully, they kept the overclock. Thankfully, they kept the rampage. They have the tools to start the long climb up to 100.
Yep, it'll be the extra overclock that Fitz didn't use earlier while Lip did. Void still trying to catch up on the Rampage. By the time the Rampages are online, Lip gets a kill on the Stalker. That is so brutal. I was going to say the ultimates on the support line will come up, but maybe it won't matter. Shanghai Dragons have the player advantage. Fitz is desperately trying to match.
Rally. Rampage finds 3. Good answer. Void's about to get theirs online. Smurf's gone.
Lip again!
Someone stop this man. He's getting away with murder.
Cap?
They've lost it. Overtime ticks in. Stalker in his face. Cut down by Who Are You? Vindame comes in to try and challenge, trigger the overtime. Fitz is low. Who Are You can take him out in a second. No one's going to be able to touch and survive. Dragons do it. They claim the round. This is a Dragon special to bring out the Doomfist Smurf. Can't get away with it. Profit comes back. Dragons claim the map. And they go to match point. As we go to the 6th one to potentially seal the deal.
And now you got to look back on the C9 on downtown, and it's
Downtown.
like, wow, what could have been? We could have gone Sanctuary, we could have turned the map around. Seoul could have still clutched on through. Mechabase, you'll give that one to the Dragons, fairly earned. But you look over towards city, you look over towards downtown, and they're just so regretful. The Stalker Blade, unfortunate timing there. Why would you even go for it? The C9, no touch. Dragons hitting to 100%. It is just tragedy on this particular map for the Seoul Dynasty. Unfortunately, they have no one to blame but themselves, and now the Dragons take pole position, 3-2 in the series. It does not feel good for Seoul, but I still believe in the map 7 possibility. We still have further chances available.
We're going to go to a break. When we come back, it's a hybrid map. Match point Shanghai Dragons on Dynasty's pick. This is the last time we might get to do this, Avril, in the Eastern region, because it's the last time we might see Jote in our match point. I thought we'd hold a little candlelight vigil for this meta. I would say we hardly knew ye, but I think the problem was we knew ye a little too much. Have you got any final words for the meta before we send them off?
Thank God. Goodbye. No, it's you know what? I came to, maybe I got a little bit Stockholm syndrome in there. I came to love it a little bit. There are still some exciting moments. I mean, we got some exciting moments in this final alone. I mean, we've had back and forth gameplay, guaranteed 6 maps here. Really, what more could you wish for? And you know, if anything, despite how things have been across Junker Queen and this particular meta, this has been the best finals that we've had in the Eastern region, because Kickoff Clash did not deliver this well. And I think now, between Shanghai and Seoul, this is the finals we've been waiting for. These are the 2 best teams in the region, going through almost maximum distance. You couldn't wish for more.
It's a fantastic way, and I'm sure the fans are loving it at home. Seoul Dynasty need to win this map, though. They want to stay alive in the series. Force out map number 7, which would be a hybrid type. Of course, that would be Dragon's pick if we go that far. What we can tell you, though, Avril, Escort is up next. Map number 6, Circuit Royale by Seoul Dynasty's choice. A map they are no stranger to.
We did just see this map being played as well in our lower bracket final. Seoul Dynasty got one over the Philadelphia Fusion. Previously, Seoul had not been able to beat Philly on this map. And this was Philly's best map. And now we have a 4-3 victory there. Seoul Dynasty have looked so damn good. And Seoul Dynasty, they need this badly to get back into their own match point contention. Take us to a 7th. We'll see how it goes.
For the rollouts, Dynasty on the defense first. No surprise on the composition. These aren't teams that have added much variation outside of the Ashe. Shouldn't be expecting many surprises here. I wonder if there's a lip TP that we could use to break the spawn hold, though. Are many teams trying that strategy to break through when teams go close? Because we know Dynasty had a high likelihood of doing it against the Fusion and a high success rate against doing them. Have Shanghai spotted that and gone, okay, we're just going to TP beyond you. We're not going to play your game?
I mean, that's one option, right? You can TP behind, but at the same time, you can just sort of brute force your way out of the spawn as well. The TP can be tricky because you actually see Seoul set up. They have one person checking every single position. And the TP is going to come through. Stalker did check the TP, but he backed out straight away. Didn't want to be part of that one, and now the Bastion from spawn will also come through. Legitimate, real Bastion in the Overwatch League Summer Showdown finals.
I mean, it works. It's enough deterrence. You've got the safety to be able to play around the spawn. You're just railing damage into the lineup. And it breaks the close hole, but they now got the first corner to get around.
Yep. Oh! Lip took a shot there. Fits with the warning. Message sent
to be a little bit
and
louder.
received.
Yeah, I think Lip's probably put it straight into the spam inbox, though. Not really too bothered by it at the moment. Unfazed.
Oh,
Prophet goes down. Lands a shot to Lee-J gone. Smurf's going to be cleared out. They lose Who Are You? Doesn't matter. He's right around the corner. Fitz goes forward. He goes aggressive. Gets his Iyaki while he's in the sky. It's a consolation prize.
Yeah.
The Dragons will push the Paywood forward.
Well, the Dragons will still be able to have all 5 in time as Fitz goes down at about the same time. Iziaki's already coming back from spawn. Lip, by the way, started on the Bastion. Got some ult charge to the Bastion, swaps onto the Sojourn a little bit later compared to where Fitz started on the Sojourn. Already has more ult charge than Fitz. We saw that rail headshot, by the way, onto Smurf that put Smurf into the dirt. And if that didn't happen, Smurf would have had a lot more HP to play through. Really hard for Seoul Dynasty to exist in that sort of environment. And Lip again, he's going to get the opening. Lip has been unbelievable this final.
Stalker was put in such a difficult position there. He had to use the dash just to survive. He got booped off the map by Lee-J gone. The only way he survives is by using that cooldown. He lines up straight and perfect for Lip to take out. Lip doesn't miss! He doesn't miss! Smurf has been removed, point A captured, and they are locking them on a split spawn. Fitz can just stay there. He's locked in the tiny Overwatch room. Gets taken out. And Shanghai Dragons on fire right now, Avril.
Yeah, Fitz has been a naughty boy. He's been sent to the timeout room. It's going to be a late death in the Shanghai Dragons. This is another situation where we're like, are they pushing B or C? Because they are so far up currently. Lip already has an ultimate. Lee Jagon has beaten well ahead of Vindane, by the way, and Lip just because of the kill. This man can't stop.
One shot, one kill. Railguns coming in from Lip. Look at them, they're just playing around point C. They're nowhere near the point. It's just being walked in. Blade comes out from Stalker. Look at the disengage. He can't go forward. Beat comes out
My
from Major
goodness.
Gordon, that was expended. Who Are You has Blade. Lip has an overclock. He's been lethal doing these natty. Now he's about to pump the juice.
The deflect's about to go. The deflect actually came on through Lip, nearly killed himself there, but we're ready for the rails once more. Who's going to be the target here? You have to be so careful. Who Are You on the Blade? Hunting for a kill.
And Dynasty don't have the luxury of the time. Fitz finds Lee J gone. A sigh of relief from the Seoul Dynasty as they're able to breathe a little bit. Fitz following up onto the second support. Shanghai Dragons not having any healing produced as Void will be taken down. At the end of the day, this is how the map's laid out, Avril. That's the fight you have to win, because that's the one on the cusp of the objective being taken.
Absolutely. And with Who Are You not able to get too much done there, Iziaki pulled through the rally, and Seoul Dynasty will survive the Shanghai Dragons offense there with a couple meters to spare. Now as the payload moves backwards, that meterage does increase ever so slightly. We're about to head into Rampage territory once again. Smurf needs a good one. He has had some really unfortunate rampages so far over the course of both of our series, lower bracket and also the final here. Void has had better success in that region, and those will be the only two ultimates available.
Railgun charge holding.
Fitz keeps it live. So is Lip. 100 charging each. One in the chamber. Slide. Won't find it. Disrupt the shot into the fight.
Two-man hit.
Raw comes in. Looks at Stalker. Wants to move to the rest of his team. Smurf and Fitz are going to be removed here. Voids. Rampage coming in faster. Coming in clutch. Prophet gets one back. Lip takes out Vindame. This is a little fight win for the Dragons though. Stalker can't do much here. They'll walk it in. Point C. Unlocked and ready for the taking.
And I just respect that Lip is so patient on the overclock, right? Not the overclock, but what he is also, but the railgun in particular. He has no rush to fire those off into the abyss. Waiting for the right targets, the right opportunities. And he's about to get this overclock in short order, hunting on the sides for any ult charge that he can find. Void carried that last fight. Rampage finds enough. Smurf still holds. Has a Rampage now for the C defense. 3 minutes 20 on board for the Shanghai Dragons. Still plenty of ground to push through before we get to the end of the map.
Shanghai Dragons are up in the rafters right now. They have the high ground advantage. Drops down to push the payload.
Stalker Blade as well. No support, ultimates on Dragons. Both these ults should clear.
Tag Smurf. It's big. Sustain needed, but they're going to use that as the go button to walk forward. Rally comes out from Prophet. Lip's about to get the overclock online. He's taken out. Smurf has the Rampage ready to go. They're not going to need it. This is a fight win. Be economic here, Dynasty. You don't need to throw anything into the fire. Hold on to that blade. I swear to God, Stalker, remove the Q key. Don't do it.
He's
got no reason to.
He's going to go off the map here. Gun's kind of wasting his own time, so he won't give the kill over to Stalker. But he is going to delay his own death there. So we'll see if that time is going to be a factor as Shanghai Dragons down to 2:25 now, about a minute gone since we last checked in a very economical fight. Only the rally being put in by Prophet. Here comes Stalker now, low HP. Stalker might just die. He does.
Straight into the carnage. There was an axe swing waiting for him as he got set up. Then the Rampage comes through. Legiagon's beat's going to try and deter that from Smurf. Overclock available for Lip. He doesn't need it. Pumps one into Fitz. Looks towards Vindame. The rest of his team's going to clean this one up. Outside the spawn room. Got a bit to go. Home stretch.
Final push.
2 minutes left. Vindame's beat against 3 Dragons ultimates.
And Void will get this Rampage up online as well, so the fight will go the distance. And this one beat, this one is a load-bearing sound barrier from Vindame. And if it doesn't work, the whole house will fall. Seoul Dynasty also have Fitz on the overclock as well. Fitz has been pretty important in this matchup so far. He can still get an opening pick that really changes things. So there's one play to save today for Seoul Dynasty. I am looking at Fitz.
He's done it a couple of times this series, particularly on Colosseo. Needs to be given the breathing room. Use the overclock. Good sightlines to abuse.
Shanghai waiting.
Dragons
Disengage.
have the luxury of time. They have time. They don't need to. One in the chamber.
Oh, the knife.
Tags Lip, but it's not a kill. Rally to reinitiate. Vindame still has that beat. Still alive, but Who Are You's on cleanup. Pulls the blade, runs back to the team. Sound barrier used aggressively. And Who Are You's happy to take that challenge as the Rampage from Void comes in. No one can stop it. Stalker's alive. Fitz can grapple hook himself into another death if he wants to. But the Shanghai Dragons complete with 47 seconds left in the time bank.
And that's the sort of 1-2 punch play from Lip and Who Are You, right? Lip doesn't have to get the final blow. Tags Fitz with the rail shot, puts him onto 1 HP, and Who Are You will get the dunk. And that's enough for the Shanghai Dragons to get a player lead. Void with a 3-man rampage, and guess what? That's still 100% of the Seoul Dynasty members alive. 3 out of 3. No one can do a damn thing on the defense. And the Shanghai Dragons, with 47 seconds left on board, get themselves a cap. And I got a fun fact for you, Tread. We talked about this man a lot already. Let me drive home another statistic that will really blow your mind. Over the course of that entire offense for the Shanghai Dragons, capping all 3 points with 47 seconds left to spare, Lip has 0 deaths.
Unbelievable. Check his PC, and his mouse, and his brand of underwear. I want to know how this man plays Overwatch. I want to know how he gets away with being this darn good at the game. We'll get more evidence as Shanghai Dragons move on to their defense.
His brand of Overwatch is Bugatti. He just wears the entire vehicle around his groin. Yep. The whole car is his underwear.
Dragons defense, they're going to go for a close hold. Are you surprised? I wonder if the Seoul Dynasty will try and go for the Bastion tactics to break through. They're hovering the Symmetra, might go for the TP instead. We'll see what the options are. Go back to the Sojourn. They're going to try and do it natty.
Are you happy to see me, or is that an 8-liter W16 engine? I don't know. Let's find out. It is a vehicle map. It is a racing map. Circuit Royale out on board.
Fitz is down.
Yep, he just doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. That's what happens. We've got 8 gears.
Well, he's shut down Prophet. Because the Arky's also off the field. Void takes Stalker. The hold's still effective. They're back in the spawn room. They've done enough to keep it going. Fast spawns mean that they should be able to fight back quite easily. Void low. Smurf just as low. There's the cut through from Who Are You to get back to safety. This is on the cusp of just being removed right now. There you go. Full hold broken. They will start getting the payload in motion.
Okay, important now. Seoul Dynasty only lost not even quite 1 minute there, so that's pretty important. Looking at Railgun ult charge for the overclock as well. Lip on 54, Fitz on 32. Here's another fun fact for you. The average time for an ultimate earn for Lip is 1:53. The average ult time for Fitz to earn the same overclock, 3 minutes 10.
Lapping
about
him.
a minute and 10,
lapping.
15 gap there. Again, that's the Bugatti Veyron in his pants doing the work.
Threat neutralized.
Fitz finding that shot onto Lee gone. It's kind of huge, actually. Dynasty should be able to get point A off the back of that. Lee gone. They find another pick. That'll seal the deal.
He's got the respawn. He's a Lucio and he's got the respawn. There is another fight here still, so Fitz has done a really good job to deter the Shanghai Dragons. But with Lee gone back in now, this is where the real fight begins. Watch the blades coming through. Who Are You and Stalker both very close. Stalker leads by a fair margin. Lee gone and Vindane nearly on beats.
Void under pressure. Blade comes out from Who Are You. Stalker pulls it. Beats in answer. Who Are You's on the Junker Queen. He takes out Smurf. Void goes down to Smurf in that engagement as well. Doesn't look like Stalker found any kills. Might have exerted a lot of pressure onto the Dragons though. Still even, 4 apiece. No tanks online. Goes for the overclock shot instead. Won't find it. Lip trying to find Prophet. Puts up the shield. Legion takes out Stalker. Fitz uses their overclock now. They've caught up just in time. He immediately gets sent back round the corner because because Lip had 1 in the chamber to send him back.
130.
Denies the ultimate. Who Are You? Who Are You got it. 130 away from claiming the finals victory.
That's the thing, right? Dragons have match point. They're looking for the full hold now. Seoul Dynasty, they have to finish the map. It just feels like the path to victory to go to map 7 is so far away for the Seoul Dynasty. They need ultimates, they need something. Smurf and Void about to get the rampages online, but it's Iziaki that has to rally. No other supports have any ultimates, no other DPS have any ultimates. They had Legion down via Fitz's railgun before to actually get a 5v4, but they couldn't win a fight off that because Shanghai still had the respawns. Now, Fitz is going to have to pull that through again. He needs another pick. He's got the rail. Doesn't get the kill.
Step out the shadow, find the pick, make it winnable. Void finds Prophet with the carnage. Smurf's down low as well. They've got time for another fight, Avel, but they need to make this fast.
Oh, it's getting so tight. Void of the Rampage, Smurf on 89. We are not seeing any Prophet or Vindame ultimates coming online soon enough, and Shanghai Dragons are going to push even further forward. Who Are You wants this blade. He wants it badly. Stalker, he's so far away compared to Who Are You. And speaking of wanting, the Shanghai Dragons have been waiting for this victory for so long. They want this championship. 15 seconds.
Fitz Get the charge, Fitz. You can make this a 4v5 if your aim is true. Don't let Lip give you a kiss on the mouth.
Smurf's there. Lijigon, Vindane. Close to each other as well.
Lined
Remember,
up.
look at the players. Here comes Smurf. Coming
Finds
through. He
two.
catches only 2. Is it
Boy
enough?
can answer back though. He's going to go for it. It's huge. He finds 4 instead. Goes for the clutch back. Everyone's low. Dynasty have been deleted. The Dragons will wait no more. They continue to stand as kings of this meta. They will take Circuit Royale and claim themselves a stage final.
That's going to be it. As the last vestiges of the Seoul Dynasty fall, all challenge to the throne have been abated, and the House of the Dragons reigns supreme. The Shanghai Dragons are your 2022 Summer Showdown champions.
Another day in the office for the Dragons. It appears they're all up on their seats, giving each other rounds of hugs, celebrating this victory. You said, Avril, they've waited so long for it. They finally claim it in the final stage tournament of the year.
350
Dynasty, they were so close.
days. 350 days, Trid, since the Shanghai Dragons won the 2021 playoffs. It's been that long. And they haven't even been to a final since then. Missed out on Kickoff Clash. Missed out on Mid-Season Madness. A slow start to the year. They were bogged down by visas and quarantines and entry into Shanghai. They had internet issues. They couldn't get scrims going. They were late to preseason. Kickoff Clash still was a reasonable stage for the Mid-Season Madness. They were entirely missing. Who Are You comes back in for the Genji meta of all Genji metas in Jotes for Stage 3 in Summer Showdown. And finally, 350 days later from beating the Atlanta Reign, we have another championship online for the Shanghai Dragons, another title under their belt.
The Shanghai Dragons, they've played phenomenally. Like you said, you've given some praise over to Who Are You coming into the Genji meta, but for us, there was only one player of the match. It's Lip. It had to be Lip, taking control of this series on so many occasions, creating so many 4v5s with the overclock, 4Ks in the fight. He's got an aim like nothing else, making a stake to be a candidate for MVP. Sojourn has been a fantastic hero for him to really show us his chops.
And that's the thing about Lip as well. The improvement was actually slow. He wasn't amazing on Sojourn to start with. He didn't really get to play it earlier on. They played the Soldier meta in Kickoff Clash, Mid-Season Madness. Started to catch up, but it is a Summer Showdown that Lip proved that he is still top of the line, top shelf talent, elite tier MVP. He was literally Grand Finals MVP last year, and in everyone's minds, was also the runner-up for the MVP race behind Leave. Now we're going to give him the Finals MVP for Summer Showdown, the first title for Shanghai Dragons since the 2021 Playoffs Finals. And Lip, in my mind, currently, for my money's worth, is the best soldier because the value he brings to the table, does he have the shiniest stats? Doesn't have the greatest of the accuracy stats that we've seen. I don't know, compared to the damage and the overclock kills, etc. I don't know if he's number 1 there. I think we actually saw from the Billy broadcast when they brought up the Sojourn stats for Summer Showdown only, Lip was actually number 1 in a lot of categories, but when you talk about impact, this is the eye test, Trid, that I'm going to talk about here. This is something that you can't write down statistically. How many first bloods does Lip get? How many opening frags, how many just impact frags does he get to shut down key specific members in the time that he gets those to enable 5v4s to give his team the ability to win these fights? And even if he doesn't get the kill, even if it's not his name on the kill feed, Who Are You has the alley-up, he gets the dunk off the layup from Lip to find that kill. So Lip's railgun value is still there even if it's not him getting the kill. That's why Lip is, in my mind, the best.
And again, it's not just Prophet as well. We saw on Dorado, he coordinates with Izayaki as well for a fast flail. Unbelievable coordination with his team. You've sung his praises. Couldn't have done it better myself, Avril. Lip makes player of the match for the finals. Shanghai Dragons claim their first stage finals as well, and that puts a close to the tournament. The final stage, if you will. We're looking ahead towards playoffs next, and it raises some questions. We know there are changes that are going to come into the meta. Jotes, supposedly, no longer going to be a thing as we look towards grand finals. Shanghai Dragons found success with this composition. The Dragons fans at home have got to be sat there longing and going, okay, whatever comes next, we need to keep the same power that we have right now, stay consistent in the power rankings, and make a good run for grand finals.